Hello, hello. Hey, Kevin. Happy Wednesday morning. Hope everything's going well. Ooh, thanks for the resub. People be sleeping today. Hey, why did that make a sound? I might have just had my speakers off. I don't know if I had them set to low or off. But yeah. Welcome in. Thanks for the resub. There was sound. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. I want to give a brief little summary of yesterday. Yesterday, there was maybe like 95 minutes of streaming, so not very much. And some of it was focused on game design, and we did come up with conclusions. So we can code now. But you might be like, what about the rest of the day? And a lot of that went toward personal stuff. Like one of the things I was looking into for music production, I wanted to get new speakers. And I'd been researching and researching and researching, and there were some sales. So I finally like moved forward with a purchase. It just took me forever to finish the rest of the research. And then I don't know, a bunch of little things. I'm trying to think, why did I not end up returning back to Skeleseller at some point? I don't know. Anyway, there was just a lot of it was a lot of personal stuff. And that all needs to happen at some point, and it's just been pretty busy over here. And I don't mean the whole like I'm complaining about Skeleseller. I just mean like everything's been ratcheted up. So yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't set us back too much and that I can just continue working on this today. Like I said, the coding conclusions from yesterday's game design should make this easier or faster somehow in many respects. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we said it's an item, so we can go into a treasure chest opener. So it does not turn into an item, or it changes from an item afterward. So the whole it's not stackable thing, I got to write down for when we do this with keys as well. Stack. Yeah, neither should keys, so code them both at once. See the dictionary idea below. Perfect. Okay, so get rid of this. So there's already a treasure chest. When you put it onto a treasure chest opener, it needs to change. So when you put the treasure chest onto a treasure chest display, I think is what I called it. Treasure display. Yes. It needs to change into something else. Now that might be difficult. Maybe this should not inherit from item display. Because this has a concept of, yeah, like remove item, set item. It wouldn't even have an item. It'd have treasure. And we need to know that it has treasure. So maybe it's not an item display. Or it's got some special things. Yeah, so either it's not an item display, or we have special code to make it so that it doesn't need to hold an item. I gotta think about that. So if it's not an item display, we wouldn't get any of this stuff for free. The other thing is, if it's not an item display, well, workers still need to pick this stuff up, right? Yeah. And the whole dragging items there and everything. I mean, I guess it's gotta be these things. I don't know about an item source though. Get pickup point, has item, get item, remove item. Why are these here? Oh, because item display naturally has them. So maybe we make some base class that item display would be like item display destination only. And we just don't have any of the source stuff here. I think about this. Well, what are the source items that we have here? Has item, get item, remove item. And what are the destination items that we have? Get drop off point, get outline shader. Interesting. So things like remove item wouldn't need to be here. But it kinda could be. It could give you an item that when you get rid of it, we delete what's on the treasure chest display. Either way, we're definitely gonna need a custom script for this. That's clear. No matter what, we need a custom script for treasure chest display. We can't just have it inherit from item display. I wonder if I should just make something and then figure out how I'm going to refactor it afterward. I don't think that's necessary though. And I don't even think this is such a crazy class. So yeah, what if we just cut this out? We made an item display destination be this thing, and then you could add on whether it's a source. But then there might be something that's only a source that we want to add on whether it's a destination afterward. Although we don't have that right now, but I can imagine something like a dispenser machine. It's giving you items. Do we have the concept of that? We have we have the item bin. The item bin is a destination only. How does that work? It's just its own custom class. Okay, then maybe this isn't that bad. Maybe we just make it like an item bin. Like an item bin in that it's a destination only. And we even highlight this. Make a class that has all the method implementations, then the subclasses just add the interface as needed or wanted. Yeah, that's another way of doing this. I think this all comes down to how much do I want to refactor of what we already have. So what happens over here? We check to see if this thing is over this. We also have a drop zone that's going to allow this thing to be dropped off. We have on click. I guess we're dropping things off. We'll accept item. Give reason why it won't be accepted. Yeah, that's pretty much just this. So yeah, I guess we're just implementing item destination. And item bin already has code for all of this stuff, so it should be pretty easy. Yeah. Okay. Okay, not too bad. Thankfully, we made these interfaces a while ago. Item destination. That's pretty good. All right. So that's what I think we have to do. I think we should just make a new class like we did for item bin. I guess the thing that Kevin's talking about will probably save us from having to write a lot of this stuff again. Let me see. Well, item destination only has two functions, I guess. Get drop off point. How does that work? Get drop off point. It's just the global position. Is that the same thing for this? Yes. Okay, so those are simple. I don't mind duplicating that. And then what's the other one? Get outline shader. That's presumably also simple. Yes and yes. Okay. So then is there anything else we even need here? Not really. I guess drop off item. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Is this... Doesn't come from an interface. So this is just some bespoke function for this class? Yeah, I guess so. And item display has it too. Drop off item. And it's an int. Wait. Did I miss something here? Ah, it inherits from I accept item, which is where drop off item comes from. Okay. So there are three more functions I didn't look at. All right, that makes a lot more sense. All right, so let's go look at those functions then. So there's this, which is probably very similar to this. Yeah, they're not the same though. And then will accept item. That one's probably a little bit easier. Yeah. Okay, and then the final one is get reason why item will not be accepted. Yeah, okay. All right, I think I know what I'm going to do. I think we're going to make just a new class that looks like this. Yeah, the I accept item. I definitely missed that the first time around. All right, so let's go save this as treasure. Whoop, let's put it in the right folder. Treasure chest display. That's yes. Okay, now let's go change that to use this treasure chest display. Okay, and now we just need to write all of these functions. And the treasure room needs references to the displays. How does the tavern get its item bin? I'm guessing it's just hard coded in there. Yeah, it is. Because we call a knit on it afterward. All right. Just provide a default implementation for those methods. Maybe it's much harder with interfaces because they can only use parts that are accessible to the interface, as opposed to an abstract base class, which could have some member variables as well. But what I suspect is going to happen is that there's going to be some similar code that is just not worth trying to refactor right now for the sake of development speed, which I'm never super fond of. But yeah, I want to try to get this in a playtester's hands pretty soon. Hey, Panda, it's going well. I'm feeling pretty good. I think today can be very productive. I want to get, let's look at the list. We have treasure chests being able to open. It has a different tooltip. We have a timer. We put loot on it. We allow keys to work. We could almost certainly get that stuff done by the end of today. And then battles dropping it shouldn't be too bad. Workers dragging it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we should be able to get a lot of these things done. And some of them, like adding perks, we already have the foundation for it, so it's just coding the perks. That won't probably get done today. But also rely on all these having to be node 2D, so that's not ideal either. Yeah, and I wonder if we should have just used like the entity component system that we have. And there's some system that handles it. Anyway. Okay, so the treasure room now needs to have these. The scenes already exist, but now the types are different. So item display is not a thing. This is now a treasure chest display specifically. And we can't even find this for some reason. That's weird. Oh, because it's supposed to be in treasure. And because I never renamed it. So animated sprite. It's not really an animated sprite. I guess it's just a sprite, right? What is this? Oh, it doesn't matter. I never added it. No, it's got to be its own scene because it's got to have an outline holder. And the item bin has the quest progress. Interesting. I would have expected the tavern to have that. Yeah, I wonder why I did that way. Clickable area, static body. Yeah. So I guess it's going to look pretty similar to item display. But now it won't inherit from this. Table sprite, item slot. Is item slot actually used? Yes. Plans to pick up a keyboard similar to one you're using now. Wanted to ask, do you use it for gaming? No, I swapped to a traditional keyboard for gaming. It's not that you can't use it for gaming. It's that you probably wouldn't want to. Like, think of whatever game or games you tend to play right now and just think, how many keys do you like having a dedicated function for? So, for example, if you're playing an FPS, you probably have WASD. You probably have control or shift, depending on if you have crouch or sprint. You probably have some like weapon selection stuff. You might have some, I don't know, emotes or pinging or melee. And it's like, okay, we're already getting kind of full on how your hand could ergonomically press those keys. So sure, could you enter a layer to like use an emote? Yeah, you could. But it's probably just going to be better to use a traditional keyboard. Now, if the game you're playing is something that just has arrow keys, like if you were playing Pac-Man, yeah, then definitely you could use a corn for that. You're not going to feel like it's limiting. Okay, so I need this scene to look pretty much like how it already looks, but just not inherit from the other scene. Can we just break the inheritance? Clear inheritance, wow. No undo. So now this is all still yellow. I don't think it should be yellow, though. I guess we have to reopen this thing for it to not be yellow. Yeah. All right, not too bad. And this has a script for texture, crop, sprite 2D for the outline. Yeah, this all makes sense. Do a lot of MMOs, so actually wouldn't be too bad. It might be bad. It depends how many keys you have. So I've used a Moonlander for an MMO, and I thought it was great. This has way more than enough keys, though. So like you can bind everything you might need. You've got plenty of thumb keys, etc. But now imagine cutting out, for the corn, you'd be cutting out this row, this column, this row, and this column. So you're just left with these 15 in the middle. That's not really enough. If you think about it, an MMO has like WASD and then pretty much like a bunch of abilities you have. A lot of these you want to quick bind and everything. Hey, Wendy, thanks for the raid. That's 2 days in a row. How'd the stream go today? I did not stream for very long yesterday, so we haven't really made a lot of progress since last time, but we're still working on treasure. Welcome in, everyone. If you have not seen the game that I'm working on, you can take a look at the Steam page. There's a trailer here. And if you haven't seen the game that Wendy's working on, you can go check out Wendy's stream. Stream is good, working on some art stuff. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, man. It's neat seeing games progress. I always have this feeling at the beginning of watching a game, especially a game jam game, where I'm like, man, the work this person needs to put in, it's monumental. And if you watch any of the Skeleseller streams from like day, I don't know, even less than 50, it doesn't look like a game. And now it's actually resembling a game, and we still have so much to do. And yeah, that's what we're working through. All right, so we are trying to get this thing. We could do this a couple of different ways. And I think the easiest one is to just instantiate these right in the editor, where we go into the treasure room itself and just put in like a treasure chest display. And then we just position these wherever we want them. So we put this up here and then move this and then duplicate this and then move that one. And that looks pretty good. Art will always be the bottleneck. I've just never been able to do artwork. And the times I've worked with dedicated artists have been fantastic. But it's hard to do that when it's all like, you know, self-funded projects or something. Botland had a pretty significant cost. A good chunk of that was art. But those were contractors. Someday, Wendy and I will combine forces. We'll make the game to end all games. Fortnite 2. Some awesome milestones along the way. They're easily missed. Yeah, yeah. And it's easy to just feel like the whole thing is a grind. I don't know if you've heard my bricklaying analogy, but I've got this thing here. Basically, if you were making a brick wall, you'd know how many bricks it would take to make that wall, or you'd have a pretty good estimate. And then you just lay one brick and another brick and another brick, and each one is getting you closer to the way there. It's kind of that way with game dev, but you just don't know how big the wall needs to be. But yeah, every day is just another brick, and if you didn't lay that brick, there'd be a hole in the wall. So it's tough to recognize that, like, oh hey, I need whatever 4,000 bricks for this game, and I've laid 1,700 of them already. Hey, have. Okay, so we have two treasure chest displays here. So now in this case, we don't need to do this. We only need to initialize these displays. So there is, where do we do this? Get all item displays. This needs to be like get all treasure chest displays. Chest display. And now we get that. Perfect. So this stuff's all going to be broken. That's going to suck. Yeah. That's too bad. All right, so this is really a treasure chest display. We'll just, yeah, treasure chest display. Okay, so initialize it with the town. We need to, oh, wait, what do we even need this for? Item display needed it for something. I guess tooltips? Yeah. We don't even have a tooltip there yet. Okay, now on click to whatever else. Does this stuff just work? Of course not. Why? Hey Luca, how you doing? Welcome in. We are going to go crazy over here. Oh, hey Thornity. Yeah, welcome back. Been busy with game launch and finally everything's calming down. Nice. How'd the launch go? I'm doing well. I had had some crises about the game, and to just kind of say the most recent one, crisis number one was Next Fest didn't pan out how I thought it would. And the result was I learned I need to get better at marketing. Crisis number two was people liked the game. No, that's not a crisis. People liked the game and wanted more of it. And I didn't exactly know what to do. And the result was I planned a bunch of stuff. So now I wouldn't say we're in a crisis, but if we were, it would be I'm on a timeline, a roadmap. I don't know what to say. I sort of have a deadline. Not really, but yeah, we have a bunch of stuff to do for treasure chests and then a bunch of stuff to do for challenge modes, and we just got to get that done and get it tested. What game are you working on? I'm working on Skeleseller. Launch exploded. Better than I could have imagined. Nice, 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 nice. That's great. Do you want to share a link? I don't know if you have shared a link in the past. Let me take a look. No, I don't think so. Yeah, feel free to. Click and Conquer. Have I heard of this? I probably haven't because I haven't heard practically anything. Oh wait, no, I saw it. Someone commented on this somewhere saying that this looked like AI art. Did you post to Reddit somewhere? Just the logo, I think someone was commenting on it. I don't know where I had seen that. But neat. This is great. I like the very positive. That's great for any game. Yeah. By the way, I'm not, that wasn't meant to be derogatory or anything about AI art. I'm just nearly positive I saw someone post about it somewhere, and I don't know where that was. Hey, Tenchu, welcome back. All right, so there is no on-click, there is no hover item. There probably doesn't need to be some of these things, though, because you're not clicking an item. This is not a source anymore. So I guess let's just delete that stuff. You will hover over this thing, but I guess that's sort of like the item bin. What do we do for tooltips here? No, I'm not saying that it's AI art. I'm saying that did you post somewhere and someone responded that that looks like AI art? Like, did you make a Reddit post or something? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen that game and you haven't linked it. So I must have seen it on something like Reddit. Yeah. I just want to be clear. Like I said, I'm not insulting the art. I think the art looks good. It's just I remember seeing a comment and I could have sworn it was your game. All right. So no tooltip stuff is happening here, I guess because it all happens in request progress. So we'll probably need to worry about that in a bit. All right, this is going to be slightly more involved than I thought then. In fact, let's probably get rid of these things. The treasure room itself can come up with its own tooltip, so we probably don't need this. On hover item, on stop hover. Yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to have to change, huh? This won't. And this probably won't. Hey, TJ. All right, so we have a bunch of red that we need to fix. Now we have slightly less red that we need to fix. How long did it take you to code the first lines by yourself of the game? It's a little bit of an unusual question because the first line of code that anyone writes is probably going to take them like a few seconds. But maybe looking at this will help a little bit for this stuff. Oh, when I learned coding, oh, I mean, kind of the same thing, right? Okay. I see what you're saying. From no experience to making something interesting, how long did that take? Okay. That's hard to say because this was a very, very long time ago. And I've got a little bit more information there in the Adam's coding journey thing. But probably in the range of years. Yeah, I mean, I started pretty young and I wouldn't say I made anything great for a while. Let me think about this. Yeah, probably years. And it's not like I didn't make stuff in those years. I wouldn't say it was anything amazing. Tier 1 products on day 2. Day 1 was for design. Day half was for design. Okay, so this requires us to have an item destination, but it's only taking in displays. But this comes from, if I'm not mistaken, an item destination. Yes, we'll accept item. And what about the other part of this? Global position. Okay, that's a mistake. So we can't do that. But we have, what, get drop-off point? Yeah. So that's the stuff we got to change this to. And then we can make this work. So get closest valid item destination to position. So we take in, oh, this already returns item destination. So this pretty much had to have worked. Get drop-off point. Nice. Nice. Wait, Thornity, I'm still not sure if you heard my question. Did you post anywhere on Reddit about your game? I swear I've seen it before. Hey, Holty, stop making mistakes. Yeah, if I had one piece of advice to anyone in any industry at any time, it's just stop making mistakes, people. Okay, got it, Thornity. Yeah. So that's where I'm pretty sure I had seen it. But anyway, congratulations. That is monumental progress. I think that's fantastic. And it's got to be you got to be feeling a mix of things, right? Like some excitement, a wave of relief, just anticipation of what's next. Probably a lot of fun stuff. Hopefully no major pressure. Okay, so now get all item displays just returns item destinations. Do we still have red in the code base somewhere? We have this stuff. I guess we're deleting that. Roller coaster indeed. You could make a tycoon about how you feel. Let's try this out. I don't know what's going to happen. Item or treasure chest display has a whole bunch of code I copy pasted from item bin that is completely irrelevant and will probably break. So we build a treasure room. Does that work on its own? No. And it's because of, because I made a change in the editor and forgot to reflect it over here. So this is from texture crop animated sprite 2D. What is this thing? It's just a node 2D, right? Okay, node 2D. All right, that should fix that. Oh, but then that causes a problem because update visual state is being requested. Set quest. All right, let's just delete all this stuff. Don't care. Update visual state. Don't care. Any other things that we now don't need? This. Pretty much anything with the word quest in it. Any other quest things? Drop off item? Oh, okay. This is a tiny bit of a problem. I guess let's just delete all that for now too. And just say int remaining quantity equals 1. Any other things? Yes, there are lots of other things. Oh man. Hey Chef Alton. Hey Private Orange. Ticket closed, reason, don't care. Yep. Imagine a customer facing message that says that. That'd be pretty great. So this thing will accept an item if it doesn't already have a treasure chest in it. Let's have some like private bool occupado. I don't know if that's spelled with a T or not because I'm just making a stupid joke and I'm too dumb to know how to finish the joke. Is occupied. All right, and then it'll accept an item if the item is a, can we get the item category? Oh, we can, nice. If it's a treasure chest and this thing is not occupied. The game wasn't supposed to do this well. What a funny statement. All right, so get reason why it won't be accepted. I already had this written down somewhere. Oh, goodness. Did I delete that? Oh, please tell me I did not delete that. I guess it was only here that I had it, right? Yeah, well, it's going to be something like this. Except for only sort of. And then where do we do this? Wrong type. Yeah, so we put this here. Otherwise, it must be occupied. And what do we say for this? Each, I don't know what we even call this. I'll just say each stand can only hold one treasure chest. We have not come up with a, oops, only hold. We have not come up with a, oh my God, a name for these yet. Turn in item. This is turning in an item for the quest. We don't have this concept. Any other quest stuff? We just want its rhyming neighbor chest, not quest. Yeah, I think we got rid of it. All right, let's try this out. Got a dash? All right, take care, Wendy. Thanks again for the raid. I'm excited about today, by the way. I think the treasure chest stuff is going to be fun. All right, so that looked like there was a bug. Yes, there is. Clickable area not found relative to treasure chest display. How? That's how. Okay, let's just keep running it. We're going to build this up one step at a time. I don't think that overall this is going to be too bad, but there are a lot of little things to make sure we've gotten right. So, all right, we finally got it to the point where we can build this thing and it does not complain at us. Now we need to try adding a treasure chest, which I should change this page up logic so that it just adds a treasure chest no matter what. In fact, that's all it should do. Yeah, there. All right, but then we'll just get the treasure chest. All right, it should be highlighting these. It is, and it's even letting us do this sort of thing. But then I don't think we can put a treasure chest there. No, it does not let us do that because I did not code that. But now we need to. So this is what drop-off item needs to do. So item display has a concept of drop-off item, which was actually working for us. So let's go take that as a base. There shouldn't be a concept of quantity here. You shouldn't be able to stack treasure chests. So this shouldn't matter. If it's occupied, it shouldn't even be able to accept the item. There should be a will accept item. Yep, that's already fine. So then drop off should never work unless we're in that state. So the added quantity is always going to be 1, which means we always return 0 from this function. So if item is not equal to item, add some quantity. We don't care about that. We don't care about this. New item, remove item. Quantity plus equal item quantity. Yeah, we don't need that. All right, this we kind of sort of want to do. Oh, man. And then we need a concept of setting which treasure chest you had. So there's like a concept of a display item, which is what player held item does. I got to think of how exactly we're going to do this. I guess there is going to be a displayed item there. But it should be a chest we form out of the item that was added. So let me just write some to-do items here. How about that? To do, we need to make the chest fly to the display. And then to do, upon reaching it, it should convert into a brand new class, which we call like treasure chest. It's a treasure chest that's like locked in. We already have treasure chest as a thing, right? No, we don't. Okay, maybe it can just be called treasure chest then. Maybe we don't need other words at the end of that. That looks like the item source. Okay, so how about we start with the flying to the display part of it? So there is make item fly to display. Make item fly to display. Here it is. To create the effect of the item flying to display, it does it by rendering 2 items, one in the display and a different one that gets animated. All right, we only kind of sort of want to do this. Also, do we ever not want this to happen? We always want this to happen, right? Drop off item only sometimes didn't do this because you might not have a location to begin with. When would that happen? Not there. Not there. Not there. There must be a place where this actually happens. Here. Huh. Every other place has a location past it? Apparently. Which makes sense. Okay. So then if this is null, it's going to be a problem. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be a problem. Whatever this is going to do anyway, we could just have it call immediately. Yeah. So we put an else here and we just say something like set treasure item. Sure. All right, we don't care about this stuff. We do care about that. Great. Make item fly to display. So we're going to need this. And now we need to change all of this. Make sure the item in display can't be interacted with. So it's considered occupied for this time. Is occupied equals true. We can eventually delete this thing. Delete this in favor of whatever points to the treasure chest that we have. Maybe make a property for this instead. It'd probably make sense to do that. So we have is occupied. We don't want this thing to be clickable. Set is held. What does that do? Changes its modulate to be semi-transparent. I would clone this and make the fake item fly to the display. This is a little bit difficult. All right, well, item display does have the item slot. I guess we can get that. There's a lot we're going to have to prune out of this, I think. This is in ready. I just want to get something compelling enough going on here. So we need to be able to remove this thing, add this thing, yeah. And then eventually call set treasure on this. So we free the fake item. So I can just take the original item and do this, right? Just take the item. I don't care about the quantity. We free it at the end. We don't care about any of this because it's going to get deleted. We fly this in. Current item is in flight is set to false. Why is that needed? Current item is in flight. Support reserving the item display while we animate how the item applies to it. I guess this is where we have it is occupied. So we're probably still going to need this concept. I guess for now, let's go save this. But when would this ever be consulted? There must be a conditional checking this. There isn't. Oh, wait, right there. Will accept item. Yeah, okay. That's what I would expect. All right, so will accept. So if it's occupied and there is nothing in flight, so make it fly to display, set that to false. Great. This is not needed. This is probably not needed, although I'm not positive. Use a fake item display. So we call add child item. All right. All right. So then when we're done with this, we need to set the treasure. Set treasure item. All right. So now we need a function set treasure. Private void set treasure. So is occupied is true. And base it on the thing. So now we need to add something here. Is there some like stupidly easy thing we can add? Item slot dot add child. I don't know. There's just got to be something we can instantiate. Scene functions. I guess let's look at any of these. Fire. How about fire? Does fire ever go away on its own? It's got a loop. No. So let's add fire to this thing. Just to get something working here. All right, so node fire equals this and add fire. All right, this is going to be actual treasure at some point. The fire graphic is just because I just want to render something here and see what this looks like. Replace with treasure. All right, anything wrong here? Yes, this. And that's because we don't have a quantity. So if we don't have a quantity, then we just delete it from here. All right, let's see how that works. Does anything call this? Drop off item showed, yes. And there we go. And then this to do item becomes this to do item. Okay, let's try that out. So if I did this correctly, all we should see is you should be able to drag a treasure chest to the display. It should turn into fire when it gets there. So the fire part doesn't make any sense, but Let's see if that works. So I drag this over here. Nice. That worked perfectly. Exactly what I wanted. So yeah, if we put this here, and now if we try dragging a chest there, it should fail. It says the treasure room is full, and if I click this, it doesn't even let me click that. Why? Maybe this is only working via drop zone, which would be possibly a shame. I can't tell. What did it say when I tried doing that? The treasure room is already full. Yeah, it doesn't know that I'm clicking this, which is probably fine. But why is that the case? Huh. What if we try dragging another item there? Do I have to like click and then not let go? All right, this is not a major problem. I'm just not sure why this is happening. I think I need to do something else to get these to accept it. Let's try to turn off. Okay, how about this? This will tell us for sure. It could just be a priority issue. If I turn off the drop zone, so if we just get rid of these functions, now there's no way that you can drag to the treasure room. You have to drag to a display. So if this doesn't work, then it means I messed something up. If it does work, then it means that it's just a priority thing, and yeah, there's not really a problem, I guess. Whoops. So does this work? No, it doesn't. Okay, that means I messed something up. Well, it's good to know. Let's go find out what I messed up. Get valid destination. Oh, wait, right here. A lot. Well, no, this might not be it. There's a get all destinations, right? Get all item displays, whether or not they're currently valid for a given operation. So how do we know that they're valid here? May need to turn off input pickable in the drop zone. Oh, you're right. That could be a problem. But it isn't for any other things. Huh. All right, let's go to the treasure room. Let's try that really fast. So I'll just, this shape, I'll just move over to there. Do other things have the same order? I'm not certain. And that might be the real issue. So this is definitely a good thing to test. No, it still doesn't work. Okay, well, let's find out what should cause this, because that'll let us know what we should be doing or what we're doing wrong. So what makes it so that you can drop an item? Player held item, you call drop item. Where's that done? Clicked item source. Clicked, it's got to be clicked item destination. Yeah, clicked item destination. There it is, here. So where is this called from? Because I probably just didn't hook this up at all. Treasure room dot, yeah, and drop zone clicked. Ah, I see. So this on item clicked, we need to know when you clicked the treasure chest display. So clicked treasure chest display. And this will be clicked item destination, yeah. And that's presumably what the item bin does itself. Yeah, yep, that's exactly what happens. So this is what we need to do. So I don't even have this function yet. We got to go add this. So this can all go back to how it was, although maybe let's leave that for now. Treasure chest display, though, needs a click on here. Clickable area dot click. It's click, not a thing, seriously. What do we call this? Oh no. Oh, it's an area 2D. Oh, come on. Area, clickable area. It doesn't have a special script. Why? That's bizarre. How does this work then? There's a clicked item display on clicked right here. What's this called from? Input? Okay. Want to be fancy about it. Oh, there it is. Unclicked. What? How did I not notice this? All right. Well, whatever. That's supposed to be clicked treasure chest display. And then everything should just work. Yeah. Treasure room does not contain a definition for this. I don't agree with you. Oh, that's because... Okay, I see. Because we need to forward this. Treasure chest display dot on clicked. I guess all we care about is the on clicked. So plus equal on click, or I should just call this clicked. On click treasure chest display. So it would need to pass in itself. This is kind of stupid. Item display and then input event mouse button. So this needs to be treasure chest display and then a mouse button thing. Which means this needs to forward it to the other one. Oops, wrong thing. I want this one. All right, clicked treasure display. I guess we'll just call this clicked. So this just passes in a button. So at some point we need to know what thing you clicked. So I guess we could just do this here. This dot invoke with the display and then the event. Please tell me this works. Clicked treasure chest display. Yeah, how's that? We're looking good. So I put this over here. That still works, although that tells us nothing. And I try putting it over there again. Each stand can only hold one treasure chest. That's perfect. Yeah, so I put this over here now. Now it's going to say that for both of these. It'll say for the room, although it'll have a slightly different message for the room. Oh, I turned that off. Okay, never mind. It's not going to do it for the room. And then if I try dragging the wrong item type, it says the treasure room can only accept treasure chests. Why is that happening? Oh, because of this. A treasure stand can only accept treasure chests. There we go. All right. Nice. Now let's put the treasure room back to its original function with drop zones. Done and done. All right. We retread some ground. That was all doing what we already had it doing before, but now it's going to convert it into treasure, which we have not coded that yet. Yeah, if I drag this up here, nice. Drag this up here, good. Drag this up here, yep, nice. Did you re-show the drop zone? Yeah. Oh, and then we should see... All right, so this is the thing I was kind of questioning, and this might be what Kevin was talking about, which is that possibly there's an ordering problem. And I'm not actually totally sure if there's a precedent for this, so let's just build the warehouse and see what happens. So if I just add in some treasure chests. All right, so now if I try putting another one here, if I do it here, it says the warehouse is full. If I do it here, it just selects that item. So I guess we never had this as an issue. Yeah, this is just never a thing. So I don't see there being a problem here. Okay, cool. So what's next? So it needs to change into something else. And we said it'll change into a treasure chest. And then we should have a graphic and everything for that. So let's go figure out, what does an item look like? It's got a collision shape, which I guess we are going to need. Well, no, actually we don't need a collision shape. We just need a clickable area. And what is this thing? It's a rigid body, but it doesn't need to be a rigid body for us. Okay, so let's go make a new thing here, and we'll save this. Well, let's make a root of this. What is it going to be? Node 2D. Yeah, sure. So it should be called treasure chest. And we're going to save this underneath treasure chest. And it's going to have a sprite. The sprite for now, we'll just quick load in the chest image, and we'll set a region here to be something. I don't know. What should this be? Where's region? There it is, region. All right, so 1832, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that looks right. All right, that's not bad. All right, so that's the actual chest graphic. So I guess let's just call that sprite. And then we need a clickable area here. Clickable areas are just area 2Ds. Didn't I make a clickable area class? I apparently did not. I made a script for it. But then why am I not using the script anywhere? I guess it's only if it needs to be clicked and we don't want to do it through input. There must be some reason for that. Unfortunately, I don't know what the reason is. Like, why'd we do this? Why didn't we just use a clickable area? There's got to be a reason for that. Because we have a clickable area and it has a clicked button or a clicked function here. Are they the same? Maybe they're different. Let's close out of all these other tabs and open up just item. So, and compare this. So this is item.cs and clickable area is this. So the event is not a mouse button, delete it, delete it. Yeah, those are the same. So now there's, if it's a left button and the mouse is over this thing, this is checking to see if it's not pressed. So this is when you release it. This is regardless of whether you've pressed or, oh, it's when we need the event. That's why. Yeah, we don't emit clicked things with or without the event. And we need the event for some reason inside a player held item. We do something with the event itself. If I search for this, we'll probably be able to find it. All we're doing is checking pressed or dragging. Seriously? Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, let's reject all that information. I'm oh boying because I don't think we had to do things this way, and I thought there was a more complex reason why we did things this way. But I believe there was not a more complex reason why. And I think this complicated our entire call hierarchy for passing events around. But not a huge deal right now. Okay, yeah, undo the stack. Mental context unwinding. So put a treasure chest into this thing. All right, we've got our treasure chest here. In fact, let's make this look a little bit different. Let's set this to ×3. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to set this to 54. Yeah, that way it looks just a hair different. In fact, let's add another 18 to that. Oh, you can't add 18 because it's 18, it's 54 each. So it's going to be 54 ×3. Yeah, there. I wanted a special treasure chest. Although ideally we just match the one we had. So I guess let's subtract 54 from that. There we go. Great. All right, so that looks like what we want. And now we need a clickable area here, which has to match what item did, but not really. In this case, we actually can make it just a clickable area because we don't need to have it be a player held item. So where else do we do that? Clickable area.cs. Mana crystal. Okay, so let's go look at mana crystal. Mana crystal. Copy this over to here. And that looks pretty good. Why is that just coincidentally the right size that it needs to be? I guess because the mana crystal is pretty tall. We probably don't want it to be that big. And we might want to center the sprite so that it looks good on, yeah, we probably want to center this. Let me try something again over here. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I think it looks good. Yeah, so how do we center this? I guess we just move it up, right? I don't know how we tell when it's centered. It's one of those 2 pixels. All right, whatever. Done. Great. So there's our clickable area. Now we need a treasure chest script, which for now is going to do very little. But it'll probably resemble the mana crystal. There's some like tooltip thing in here, right? I think there is, and I think it comes from the enchanter den. Yeah, tooltip. Hover area. This is the whole thing, though. Yeah, I could see this working any number of ways. So I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's just save this somewhere. Save this in treasure. Is treasure not a thing? Treasure's not a thing. Where do we put treasure stuff? I've been putting it all in scene scripts. Sure, whatever. Treasure. All right, so we call this treasure chest. Treasure chest.cs. So this changes to game source scene scripts treasure chest. And it is a node 2D. So now it's going to have a clickable area. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff that goes on in here. Let's just delete all of this. Mana crystal inherited from enchanter crystal, which is not even a thing anymore. There is no clickable area in here. Wait, is there no reason for this to exist? No, there is. But it's literally just for debug reasons. You can right click and set yourself to full mana. There's otherwise no reason for this to exist. All right. Well, let's do this. So get the clickable area, and on click, let's just have it print out a thing. gd.print, you clicked the treasure chest. Okay, so now we want to instantiate that. Scene paths. Be nice if I typed it correctly. And go find scene scripts. That's not a thing? Oh, right. No, it wouldn't be a thing. Treasure slash, here we go. We want treasure chest. And then we want to instantiate one of these from the treasure chest display. When you, instead of making fire, we make a treasure chest. So that should be pretty straightforward. Treasure chest. And then when you click it, something needs to happen. This also needs to be based on, I guess I'll write this thing here to do, base the chest we make on the item type. Maybe there should just be some initialization here so that I don't need to think about this in the future. Yeah, something like that. Oh, what? Then that should definitely be that way. Yeah. All right, now go generate and it, whoop, whoop. Why did it not say to generate this thing? It should be an option here. Huh, that's weird. Oh, because it doesn't think it's a treasure chest. That's why. Now it'll work. Generate. Perfect. All right, now this is going to be the easiest possible function to write. You know why? Because it's going to say to do, write this function. It should set the sprite based on the chest we used. Which means manifesting a dictionary for which sprites to use where, probably. Oh man, let me think about that. No, it's the same sprite sheet. And it should even use the same sprite sheet if possible. All right, let's see if this is convincing. You should just drag a chest onto the display and it should turn into a new object. But to the player, it shouldn't look like any of that's happening. It should look like the thing just was there the whole time. So we got to watch this very closely. I'm going to drag it onto this one. It's going to fly there and then change. Yeah, nice. So now this, as I click it, should be saying, unable to cast object to Godot, node 2D. Perfect, it's doing it. That's not what I want. We need to instantiate this thing. What's going on? Oh, I never gave it the script? Yeah, I never give it the script. This is actually going great, by the way. Everything is moving very, very smoothly here. All right, so let's try this again. Okay, so I did see it move by a pixel. That should not be happening. But there are no errors, and when I click, it should say that I've clicked it. Yeah, you clicked the treasure chest. All right, so now why is it moving by a pixel? I'm guessing it's because of this thing not being totally centered. but that I don't know how we totally center this. I guess sprite 1 here, is this positioned at 0, 0? It is. So we need to just find the dead center of this chest then. We know it's 18 pixels tall. Or do we know this 18 pixels tall? It is 17 pixels tall. Okay, so there's no even division there. So let's go down by 8 pixels to here. So it's right where the solid white ends. That's not actually white, but it's close enough to white. So yeah, right where the solid white ends. So this is maybe roughly where it would be. Or maybe there. One of those 2 pixels. There's an indicator 1 pixel up in the treasure chest scene. What? I'm not sure I know what you mean. This might still be off by a pixel. Although I think being off by 1 pixel will be indiscernible. Being off by 3 pixels is noticeable. No, it's still shifting. Shifting to the right, though. I can't mess up right and left here. This is exactly centered vertically. Oh, maybe not because of the shadow. Oh, I see. We got to chop off the shadow. So if I were to move this to the left, now it would look correct. Is that even what I mean to say? Because now it's centered according to just pixels and not centered according to visual appeal of the treasure chest. Looks like something is 1 pixel up. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think that's the clickable area that I didn't actually move. But I think this is going to look correct now. It's very, very close to correct. Is art style 16 by 16? Some of it is, but not all of it. So in this case, this is actually 17 by 17. Anyway, I'm probably belaboring this. This doesn't really matter too much. In fact, maybe moving it the other way was what I wanted to do. No, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know. Let's just leave it like that for now. Yeah, if it bumps by like a pixel, we should probably try to figure that out once the chest graphics are all done. And I have a to-do item for that. There's something about the shadow. Yeah, it shouldn't have shadows. I should change the dimensions. And once we've done that, make sure chests flying to the target display don't nudge themselves by a pixel. So this is good enough as it is. Yeah. And we should probably put the clickable area under here, right? So that we can just move the sprite wherever we want and it's going to stay. Yeah, that's a much smarter idea. Yeah, cool. All right, so what do we have now? When you put the treasure chest onto a treasure chest display, it needs to change to something else. So this part's done. Either it's not an item display, we figured that out. We need a custom script. We have that. It's like an item bin. We're done with that. I think we should make a new class. Yeah. All right, so then we got to check in what we've done. And then we need to get the treasure chest class to be correct. So let's start with the check in what we've done part. Treasure chest display. What are these rectangles doing here? I thought we had a strict no rectangle policy. I only want triangles in the game. What? What are these doing here? 13, 14, and 2023? I guess we can just find out. Collision shape. Parent is clickable area. What? Oh, I'm in the wrong scene. Oh my god, I'm a dummy. Okay, yeah, never mind. That's all fine. Yep, sure looks good, looks good. Visible was set to false and now I set it to true for the treasure room. I think we should turn this back off, right? You're not the boss of me. That's a rectangle. Get that out of here. I said triangles only. All right, change the debug code. What is this stuff? On hover item, item hover handler. These are not items anymore, so this is not a thing anymore. So treasure room on hover item. So delete that stuff. Delete all of this, I guess. Update tooltip. We still need to get this to work. Get tooltips working. What was process for? I guess the same thing to do, get tooltips working. Anything else? This stuff can go. Make this in the proper size, save this. Yeah, looks good. All right, which means that whatever code we were just looking at can be changed. It is always so hard to tell if I got the spacing right. I can't type numbers. Yeah, I did. All right, looks good. Looks fine for now. Although I don't think that's on my to-do list. I have something like code different treasure chests. Code different treasure chests. I think I have this written down somewhere already, right? I don't know. Well, let's write it here. When dragging a chest item to the treasure room, the resulting sprite needs to be set in treasure chest.init. Can you do this? No, you can't. You can on GitHub. You can in VS Code. It makes sense you wouldn't be able to in Google Docs. It's not a markdown first kind of editor. All right, so is occupied probably doesn't need to exist here. And we definitely need to keep track of the treasure chest. But we already have a to-do list or to-do item about this. So I'm going to just ignore that for now. What about over here? All right. Yeah, we're looking good. Hooey. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, cool. So add treasure chest class. When you drag a treasure chest item to the treasure room, it now converts into a treasure chest instance when it hits the display. This is because a treasure chest being opened isn't really an item anymore. It has a lot of extra properties that we need to add. There are a lot of ways we could have coded this. Okay, so all that's done. Next, has different tooltip. Tooltips are currently computed from item data, not from item itself. This is because we use it in 3 locations. Yeah, I already have a note about getting tooltips to work differently. Where is that note? Make tooltips on the chest. I guess make tooltips work on the chest. Yeah, so let's just delete this for now. And I'll maybe write that there because we have to do it in 2 different places, right? Make it work on the item itself, which probably just means saying bring this to your treasure room. And then make it work on treasure chest. And notes about how item tooltips work now. Maybe this isn't helpful. Is all of this. And that can just go there. Cool. All right, so that's done. Next, as a timer and timer text for when it'll open. Show text for the timer right above the chest. Oh, no. It needs to be in screen space, but adjusted for the camera coordinates. I don't ever like doing that. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. Is key instilled properties. This alone is a reason to probably not have to be a proper item. Only matter in the treasure room. Yeah. We got to make sure these are saved and loaded. I think we have that written down. Yeah. Need any key instilled properties, e.g. rare item stuff to work. This should go after we get keys working then. All right, it can be highlighted as a destination for keys. This is only once it's been turned into a treasure chest opener. If you try dragging a key to the treasure room itself, it should probably say you need to target a specific chest. No need to get clever. Okay, sure. How about this then? Let's go keep track of in treasure chest. Let's just... Oh, this has nothing on it. All right, so private int... Well, this is eventually going to be a double time remaining. equals 100. How about that? And then you click the treasure chest, time remaining equals time remaining. Cool. So that's always going to just print 100 right now. Now what we want to do is we want to make this a destination for keys. And when you put a key in it, it's going to lower that by, let's say, 50 for now. So that when it gets to 0, it'll be highlighted as being openable. So that's what we're going to work on now, is just getting chests to be openable. They won't even give you loot yet. So we need to turn this thing into an item destination for keys. Which means we need to get any treasure chests from the treasure room. So the treasure room needs to know how to fetch them. But the treasure chest display doesn't even store that yet. So I guess now is when we need to store this. Private treasure chest, treasure chest. And when you add this thing, we add it like so. Now maybe we should turn that into a property. Lurk away, panda. Lurk away. All right, what do we need to do? We need treasure chest itself to be considered an item destination. Yeah. Which is, I guess, a little bit weird. So now we need to implement all of the functions. Give it a sec. Give it another second. There we go. All right, so get drop off point is going to be global position. Get outline shader. We don't have an outline shader because I forgot to put that in, because I forgot to do a lot of stuff. So this sprite is actually going to be an animated sprite. Lurk as well. GL with this. Seems like this is almost done. It'd be nice. Yeah, the overall goal is to get this done by the end of Friday for the sake of playtesting. So there might be a lot of rough edges, but for playtesters, they can just ignore those. And then if we know that the system works, we can polish it. Yeah, I hope you both have a good day. All right, so we got to change this into an animated sprite. Change type, animated sprite. That's going to break everything I just did. Oh, and the animations themselves are going to change, which we could form these on the fly, I suppose, but let's make a default one for now. And we'll just add in assets, world, treasure, true, that's not right. Maybe it's in items. Yeah. All right, so what is this? 18 by 32. So we want that. Let's just take all of those. And then just not have it autoplay. And then we need to move this again, I think. Maybe we don't need to move it again. Can we see the outline shader? Yeah, sure. And hey, Flare. Outline shader. So this is kind of intense. It started as this shader here, but that shader had some bugs. Yeah, this is what this is supposed to do. Just add a white outline around these things. But this is kind of buggy. There were some things we needed to change. And then it became even more intense, and then it needs to pull from any common shader functions. So if I open that up, common shader functions, there's other stuff here like expanding UVs, testing whether we flipped a sprite. So yeah, it's a pretty intense shader for what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so we have this. This actually now needs to inherit. No. What am I talking about? I'm wrong about this. We need the texture crop thing, and that needs to go here. It's a sprite I found as well. It does not work. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. And then even when you fix the one or two issues, which involves understanding enough about what's going on there, which is not so simple, there's still more to fix afterward. I'll share my notes on shaders, though. This might help you out a bit. Because in learning how to get that shader to work, I wrote a bunch of notes about Godot shaders in particular. It may or may not help. I still haven't fixed that issue with the new lines there. I had that written down for yesterday, and like I said, just got sidetracked by other things. I'm actually curious. I mentioned this earlier. I ordered like proper studio monitors. So right now I have like $40 speakers from probably like 15 years ago, and they're fine. I hear all the audio that I've ever used pretty much through these. I rarely use headphones. So when I'm playing a game, when I'm making music, I don't know how these things are EQ'd. I don't know what they'd look like on a spectrograph. I don't know what you even call it. But yeah, I bought like proper speakers. I haven't gotten them yet. But I'm very curious to see, do I hear a difference? Like how much you need to train your ear to hear these things. Because something that this harkens back to is, I remember I took music theory in college, and one of the like most basic exercises you can do is play two notes, or someone else plays two notes, and you just have to say, is the second higher, lower, or the same as the first? That's a very basic exercise, and apparently some people actually struggle with this. If I were to just go like do do, that some people are like, I don't know if that's higher or not. And I think you train your ear on that pretty quickly, because it's not asking what is the pitch or what is the interval between them. But yeah, how many people, when put in front of sort of like decent sounding speakers and like professional speakers, how many would tell the difference? And yeah, I have no clue. And this hypothesis doesn't really matter too much, but practically it's, will my music that I create be better as a result of this? That I start hearing things I wouldn't have heard before. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. But I thought it was fine because my speakers were masking it. That's the theory behind this, I guess. All right, so getting this to work as a destination, we need the outline shader. I never added the outline shader. Let's go add that. What are we putting this on? Just this sprite, I guess. What's a similar thing that would work this way? A crop, I suppose? Yeah, so this points to the plant. The plant then has the outline shader. It's got a bunch of parameters around it. Some of this is going to get a little bit challenging. So this sprite gets a shader. The shader gets the right thing, outline shader. So that's good enough for now. Then we add this thing in and we call this the outline holder. And this points to the sprite. So that's all good. Now we need to go save that outline holder. Yeah. When I switch from slightly better to slightly worse headphones, I could tell the difference when listening to music. I know literally nothing about music creation though. Yeah, and I'm hoping I just feel the difference and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? Because I'm very intrigued by this process. And then there's one downside to this. It's like the power of knowledge. If these speakers are remarkably better and I can hear things that I couldn't hear before, I should probably go and remaster the old tracks I made for Skeleseller, and that's going to take time. So yeah, that part would be not very fun. But maybe it won't take a long time. I don't know. All right, so we put this in ready. I had the worst headphones for 4 years now, and I love them. They're probably comfortable, right? I have good headphones, but they're, well, I guess they don't have to be Bluetooth, but since they're Bluetooth, there's some amount of delay when I'm making music. So I don't like using them for making music, and I don't like connecting them via a cord. So I basically just use my speakers. But the headphones are probably decent for music creation. They're not like audiophile headphones. Hey, A.K. Notes are so well organized. Thank you. I think, honestly, I just did it that way so they're helpful for me. But I think as a result, they become a little bit more helpful for other people. All right, so now drop off item. This is only going to be a key. So we just say time remaining minus equal 50. And then gd dot, well, actually, we don't need to do anything else here. No, maybe we do. We probably need to fly the item to the chest. Okay. Yeah. And I guess it always works. All right, so apply key to chest and make item fly to chest. So it's more like make key fly to chest. Yeah. So comfortable and wireless, not Bluetooth, built-in mic, and they have a little light at the end of the mic that glows when it's muted, so I never end up speaking to the void of the auto muting. Yeah, I like that sort of thing. You know, I like the idea. I think it was Marie Kondo who said the thing about sparking joy with the things that you own. I like that there's some products that are just a joy to use. I feel that way about my keyboard. Like I like this keyboard. There are definitely things I would change about it, but it brings joy to use it. My mouse would also kind of be the same way. I have a G600, but they discontinued this mouse. So this thing represents debt in weight. Like at some point this will break and there is no replacement of this model unless I want to pay like $300 on eBay, which I don't. So I need to find some different mouse at that point, and nothing on the market really comes all that close to it. There are things that are like similar but not the same. It's just too bad. All right, so where do we have set treasure? We want this here. This should be pretty simple, I think. Apply key to chest. What? Freeze this thing? Nothing freeze this thing. Wait a second then. Won't this be broken? If we call drop off item and nothing freeze the item. Did I write this? Did something wrote this in here, right? The location where the item is coming from. The remaining quantity. If value is greater than 0, the caller should handle the excess quantity in some way. Who handles freeing the item? I think it's always us. But there's only one case in the entirety of the game where drop off item is called with a null location, and it's here? What does this do? Oh, dropping off an item in this case should never delete it because it's an item display. Oh, so in our case, I think we always need to delete it. All right. Hey, Orca. Can't find a good vertical mouse for the life of me. Have you tried any? I looked into this briefly, and it looks like there are a bunch of different models, and I don't know enough about vertical mice to know what the differentiators are for them. Like, they all kind of seem to have the same number of buttons. They all kind of had the same general aesthetic, at least from my untrained eye. Hey, Campbell Soup. Yeah, I think this is a mistake. I think I need to free the item here. Item.queue free. And then we already freed it up here, so now we delete that. And I think we do the same thing over here. So apply key to chest does item.queue free. And then here's what we're going to do that's going to make this kind of silly. We're just going to say time remaining minus equal 50. And then make key fly to chest. That is here. My wrist starts are too much if I use a normal mouse. Is there... Okay, maybe I misunderstood. Yeah, I think I did. What's the problem? Like, it sounds like you just need to do the research, I guess. All right, so this stuff's fine. Now we want, I guess we set the item to be clickable to false. And then current item is in flight. There could be multiple keys flying to this thing. I don't know if this will ever be a problem. I guess you could apply a key to something that's not going to be needed. But yeah, then we say apply key to chest. Fly functions. This is just the global position of this thing, probably. This hopefully isn't needed. All right, we'll accept item. The only items that we accept here, item category equals a key. And yeah, I guess then time remaining is greater than 0. Oh, they dies or the clicks malfunction. I guess the quality isn't there yet. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I'm not saying this like a disbelief of what you're saying. I'm saying that I guess I'd expect vertical mice to be practically identical in terms of wear to regular mice. Maybe even better because the force isn't being applied directly down, but instead to the side. But yeah, maybe that's part of the problem. I've always felt the Apple trackpad has been better than a normal mouse. Should really consider a vertical mouse now that I have a tinted keyboard. Yeah, every once in a while, I actually just use the mouse from my keyboard, but this is not really all that ergonomic. 8 of them in a year, oh man. And I'm guessing you've tried different companies and brands and everything. Wow. You know, it's funny because there always is a chance that you've gotten exceedingly unlucky and that there's like a 1 out of 1,000 chance for this to break. And so you have like a 1 out of 1,000 to the 8th power chance of them all breaking on you. And it's like, well, people win the lottery, right? So the opposite of that happens where you win the product breaking lottery. But yeah, the chances should be pretty slim for that. I was looking at cat toys yesterday, actually, and there's one that's branded the indestructible cat toy. And I looked at the reviews, and it said something like, this toy broke on day 1. And I just thought it was funny. Like, if you're going to market something as indestructible, probably shouldn't ever get a review saying it broke on day 1. So I bought a different cat toy. Okay, so this looks good. And then get reason why item will not be accepted. This should be really simple. We copy this. We copy this. And then we just figure out what are the reasons why it wouldn't accept an item. So if it's not a key, we say it's the wrong type. The only other way is that the chest is already able to be opened. Messages dot get chest is already openable. And this is get invalid, what do we call it? Invalid destination wrong type. Cool. All right, so invalid destination wrong type. So a treasure chest can only accept keys. And then what's the other one? Invalid openable? What I call it? Chest is already openable. This treasure chest is already openable. Sure. Cat toy got the mixed reviews tag. Overwhelmingly negative. Actually, it was pretty positive still. I think this is the problem with kind of any reviews for products. Like, how do you know which ones to trust? Which ones are from AstroTurfing? And with cat toys, at least the stakes are pretty low, right? I really just need a stick with a string at the end. And then I'll attach the toys we already have to it. Also not very expensive. All right, I think we got this working. But now we need to know, the treasure room needs to say that these treasure chests are item destinations. Yeah. So we need a way of getting all of the treasure chests, which we can't do right now because this thing is private. So this should probably just be made public. Let's just say treasure chest, public, get private set. And then move this down here. You gonna complain about that? Yes, you are. There's no way for me to ever remember where this is supposed to go. There we go. All right, now the treasure room can go fetch all of those. So it's like get item destinations, I guess. What does this have? Get item displays. This is gonna be public list treasure chest, get treasure chest. Yeah, nice. Exactly what I want. All right, so now we call this from the town, get all item destinations, list treasure chest. We don't need the to list here. It's already a list. And then just return these things. And it should just work. I highly doubt it's going to because I probably forgot something. Oh, also we have no way of generating keys easily. I should have... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to make this hard on myself. Let's go make it easy. So wherever we make a treasure chest, item ID dot... Right there. So let's also add in a key for that treasure chest. Yeah. That way I don't need to go grind weapons into dust. Using ZMK, so waiting on mouse inertia. Yeah, I really do rarely use it. Like even things like this, like dragging the camera via the mouse, via the keyboard is frustrating. All right, here we go. We put this up here. Then we try putting a key into it. Is it being highlighted? It is. We can't put this on there for some reason. What's going on? The treasure room can only accept treasure chests. Oh, I know what's going on. We don't have it selected as an item display. So there are actually two problems here. One is treasure chests as a destination aren't highlighted blue green. And the other thing is treasure chests aren't actually accepting the keys. I'm going to fix this second one first, actually. So they aren't accepting the keys because there's a click handler that's missing. Yeah, nothing is alerting this thing that you clicked anything. Oh, because of this. Oh, man. Thinking of getting a vertical mouse for general use because my shoulder hates me. I always kind of wondered what a trackball would be like to use. I don't know if that would be any better. I think a lot of problems I've seen, and I'm not an expert, of course, but whatever your dominant hand is, you've got like those muscles engaged practically all the time. So you hold that shoulder differently, you maneuver differently, and it's all really bad for you. Swore by it. Yeah, I've never really tried one other than, you're at a Best Buy or something and you go touch a trackball. But yeah, I've never piloted one for longer than a minute. All right, so how's this going to work? This is going to become a destination for an item. An input is where we do this sort of thing. So we have on-clicked for the item display, which passes it up to the storeroom, which then passes that up to the town. The town knows how to handle it by saying you clicked an item display. So we need that same thing, but it's just clicking an item destination. So treasure chest is going to have a public action question mark clicked, but it's got to pass in the event. Let's unwind this. Yeah, it's got to look like this kind of, but it's not an item display. And on click should be called from here, but I guess only if the time remaining is I don't know. We can't do this from here. What am I doing? Yeah, we can't do this. So the clickable area is pointless then. Oh, fun stuff. So we don't need this, or we don't need the script. We don't need the script. So detach that. I'm a mouse snob because of my FPS gamer days and all the office and vertical mice sensors feel terrible. I think that gaming can kind of be its own category of using certain peripherals. Like I think it'd be natural to have a mouse just for playing an FPS. But then what you expect out of kind of regular mouse usage might be different. So for example, I only use this one mouse and this mouse has 12 buttons on the side. And when I was playing FPSs, one of them is bound to escape. And some way, however I hold the mouse, I would press that often. So I'd be in the middle of like a firefight with someone and then I'd open up the settings page and I'd be dead. So I needed to make a special mode on my mouse. It's actually this this red mode here that turns off all those features. And that way it just has jump on the mouse. All right, so this can't happen. We need the input function. And then we delete all of this stuff. So this just goes down here. This mouse button. I guess let's just pass in the mouse button. Is mouse over isn't even a thing? Oh, right. We probably need that, don't we? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Oh, that's why clickable area would be good, but clickable area doesn't expose the mouse event. Maybe it just should expose the mouse event. Although we might need to change a cursor for this stuff too, but does clickable area do that? No. Yuck. Yuck indeed. All right, well. Wait a second. What is this? If the item exists, set a press cursor. Okay. All right. Fine. I'm gonna do this. I'm not super happy about it. So on mouse entered. This is the clickable area. We set it to pickable. I don't think we need that. Yeah, so we don't have a clicked thing anymore. We don't need this. These things don't need to exist. That's not necessary. On mouse over is going to be needed. Is mouse over, I mean. Private bool is mouse over. All right, so the on hover stuff I don't think I care about. This would be like if time remaining is less than or equal to 0, then use a press cursor. On mouse exited. I guess just use the normal cursor no matter what. Why wouldn't we do that? Yeah, so now everything should be fine. So now in the, oh right, this needs to bubble up. So this just clicked. This bubbles up to the treasure room, which then bubbles up to, there's clicked treasure chest display. There now needs to be clicked treasure chest. This is for, well, maybe I should write it like that. This is for dragging treasure chests to a display. And this is for dragging keys to a treasure chest. All right, now you go code that. Treasure chest display dot click. That's not what I want. I want to know when we click the treasure chest. The display has that. This just has that you clicked this. I guess we also need a clicked treasure chest. And then we listen for that somewhere. Where is that listened to? Set treasure. Okay, I see. So we put this here. Treasure chest dot clicked invoke. Yeah. All right. Now the treasure room takes that function and forwards that stuff. Yeah, nice. And then the town listens for all of that. Yeah, neat. All right, there we go. So does it work? We put the chest over here. Then we try to put the key inside of the chest. I think things are already breaking. Yes, they are. Come on, you can scroll up. Unable to cast an area 2D to a clickable area. Yeah, I know about that. This is just an area 2D now. Should have been the only problem. Well, let's keep an eye on this. Okay, it's being highlighted. Are there any errors so far? No. Can I put this in the chest? I can, but then it also activated that, which is a shame. So you click the treasure chest, time remaining 100. It should be 50 now, right? Yes. Huh. Why is it happening twice? Oh man, why is it happening twice? I know because of Preston releasing this. We're not checking for that. That part makes sense. But why is it activating a click handler for both of these things? The treasure rooms is actually being hit. Is there an input event here somewhere? It probably is. There isn't. I guess because of the display. Hey, Hepta. Yeah, it's because of this. All right. What do we do? Maybe the treasure chest is not considered an item destination on its own. That would actually simplify quite a lot. So what if we just have treasure chest display be the item destination? If you put a chest there, then you're placing a chest on it. If you put a key there, then you're attempting to unlock a chest. As opposed to what we have now is treasure chest display can be clicked to place chests, and treasure chest can be clicked to place keys. So these two things are stacked on top of each other because the display holds a treasure chest. So when you click one, it's trying to activate both of the things. So if we just consolidate it into one handler, I don't see any downsides based on current requirements for this. If we ever separated a display from a treasure chest, which doesn't make sense because the whole point of a treasure chest display is a whole treasure chest. But if we ever did that, then yeah, we would need to separate out the listeners for these things. It'd also simplify the code for this too. Oh, wait. Oh, no, there's going to be a problem with that. This is what outlines the destination, and we want the treasure chest to be highlighted as a destination. Okay, so how do we work around this? Problem with this is that we wouldn't highlight the treasure chest, or we wouldn't outline the treasure chest as a destination. So we need some way of stopping the treasure chest display from activating when the item you drop on the treasure chest is handled properly. I don't know how we'll do that. Give me that key. Yeah, so it clearly, the item went in there. And now it says time remaining is 0. So we should be able to open the chest. I mean, I haven't coded that yet. We could also drag another key there, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, we can't. Oh, and now it doesn't even tell us the error for this one. That's weird. Time remaining is greater than 0. Huh. Huh. Oh, wait, that's always how this worked. And actually, we might want that to open the chest and not consume the key. Although that's a usability thing. Oh, I don't know how we're going to do this. So I'll just take a picture of the problem here. When dropping a key onto a chest, it probably properly uses the key, but then it also triggers the treasure rooms handler. Let's put that in the GIMP. So we could still collapse into one listener as long as we highlight treasure chests. How would we do that? I don't think we have specific code to do that. The way this works is we have some like highlight function. Yeah, so on process, we get all possible destinations and then check to see if it's valid. And then we're just going to highlight it or not. So yeah, we'd somehow need to know that the treasure chest is a possible destination. Oh, maybe, I hadn't thought about this. Maybe we make it a valid destination, but then never have any handlers for it. Okay, what if we did that? Let's try that out. We just get rid of the click handler for this. Or, well, something like that. And then here, click treasure chest just never gets invoked. And instead, when you click the display, we allow this thing to accept a key and put it in the treasure chest that's on it. Yeah. That would work, I think. So if the item is a key and the treasure chest is not null and oh wait, oh that's a oops drat. Okay, that won't work. I'm in the wrong spot. Actually, I should probably copy paste what I just did. Oh god, I've messed up everything. All right, so this cool. All right, we'll accept item. So the item is a key and the treasure chest is not null and the time remaining, which I didn't get, and treasure chest dot is openable. So in this case, we can return true. We don't have is openable. We need to go make that. Generate property. This is just time remaining is less than or equal to 0. We can use this in a couple different places. This also needs to be moved, I guess. Why is this? Oh, unused event. Okay, sure. All right, now the reason why this won't be accepted, we also need something like if the item category is a key, item category dot key, then we need to return to write a message about keys. Okay, I don't know. Let's try this. I probably haven't done enough. I gotta say, if this does generally work, that's a pretty good way of doing things. I put this here, then I try dragging a key. We can see, oh, it's highlighting the treasure. It's highlighting the display as well. I don't like that part. What happened? Oh, what happened here? Click the display. This has to have will accept items set to true, right? It's the treasure room. I keep looking at the wrong thing. If it's a key and the treasure chest is not null and the treasure chest is openable or is not openable, return true. Otherwise, it's got to be a treasure chest and it's not occupied and there's no current item in flight. All right, what's happening again? Let me try this again. I drag a key here to the stand and it actually worked. What? What? Oh, I see. We're going to need something in here that says if it's a key that we just forward this into the treasure chest. Treasure chest, drop off item, and then return 0. Yeah, that might fix part of this. The only place we've done this in the past is for the chef slime. You can actually put potions on the slime and it'll forward it to the extractor. I should have this treasure room automatically get built and automatically have a treasure chest there. All right, so if I try putting it in the treasure room, it says write a message about keys. If I try putting it on the display, that pixel was just bad. It's still saying write a message about keys. I don't like that. And if I try putting it on the chest, yeah, so no matter what, it's saying that to do write a message about keys. Why is that happening? Oh, all right. I see. In every other scenario in the game so far, the drop zone accepts the same kinds of items as the item destinations in that drop zone, which makes sense, right? You have a storeroom. So if you drag a weapon onto the storeroom, it's just like dragging a weapon onto an item display there. But that's not true for the treasure room. The treasure room, you can put chests into the room, but then keys can't go to a random chest. They have to go to a specific one. So the room doesn't accept keys. Hey, Sarah. Working from home, so I get to lurk and listen. Nice. Nice. I think you need to write a message about keys. Is the treasure room part of the need more systems loop? Yes. Yeah. And I like the design of all of this stuff. Right now, we're tackling a coding problem, which shouldn't be too bad, but it's going to involve some change to the code as we have it now because of this assumption being broken. So the short summary is you'll be able to find treasure chests and you'll be able to make keys. And keys can have special properties. So imagine something like plus 50% chance to find a rare weapon. So when you use a key on a chest, it's not just open the chest. Like the keys you used will matter. And as a result, that means that you can't just put any key in any chest. So in this case, let's say we have two chests here and you drag a key onto the room. We wouldn't know if you want to put in the left one or the right one because since they can have special effects, you might want it to go into a certain one. And yeah, as a result of this, it means you need to drag it to a specific location. Go to the closest chest. So the room would basically have up to 2x destinations where x is the number of stands. I guess that's possible. We could just redirect to the closest one. Yeah, I guess it's never randomly picking. But it'd be the only case in the entire game where dragging to a specific like pixel in this room is going to matter. So if you were to drag to the left half of this right now, it'd put it in the left one. If you were to drag it on the right half, it'd put it in the right one. I guess a concern, and maybe this isn't a big concern, is let's say you have 10 chests in here and you try putting on this one, but right before you do, this one becomes openable. So now you click this chest and it flies over to here. What does it look like when you drag to a room? The entire outline of the room lights up. Maybe this one is just split in two. The way it looks is it's much more obvious when I show you in the warehouse, for example. So let's say we have an item here. Do you see how one of them is getting highlighted bluish white depending on where I am here? So whatever is closest is what it's going to highlight. So from what Kevin said, this actually does make sense. You could just bring the key close to the one you want to put it in. Like you see when I get close to here, it highlights that blue. Then if I let go, it could just fly into there. That could be fine. So yeah, maybe we just do that. All right. Well, let's try it. I mean, if playtesters say they don't like it, then we can always change it then. So the treasure room now needs to accept keys, but only in the case that there exists an openable chest in the treasure room. So if it's a key, return get all item displays dot any item display will accept item. Yeah. And this would be to do there must not be an openable chest. Yeah, that's it. I think it's just those 2 lines of code. Obviously, the message is still not finalized, but we'll do that in a little bit. So let's try that out. Oh yeah, and let's also, before I forget, because this is super obnoxious, let's have it build the treasure room automatically. Create treasure room. It's the same condition for both keys and treasure. The display decides. Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. Hopefully I would have realized that on my own. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out. To do consolidate these clauses. They're the same. All right, so now we have a treasure room by default. We put a treasure chest in there. We put a treasure chest on there. And then we try dragging a key. So if yep, you can see they're getting highlighted correctly. It's not highlighting the chest, which I'm still not totally sure why. But if I drag this here, yeah, no errors now. If I drag onto the display, what happens? Again, no errors. And if I drag onto the chest, what about if I drag onto this chest? Oh, then the drop zone kicks in. And now no chest will accept it. Yeah, there's no openable chest. So why won't the chest get highlighted properly? Why is that? Oh, maybe I just didn't set the parameters. Oh, that's like the easiest possible solution if that's the case. And it probably is the case. Let's take a look. So I'm going to put this off screen. Normally I like making this followable, but I don't really care right now. So the treasure chest, we just go into this. And yeah, alter line over time is false. Transparency threshold 0.75. Line width 2. What else? What else? Extra line color. Extra line color is a different color in this case. I don't know why. I don't know if we need that. But I'll just copy this color. Copy value, paste. Extra line width. Cool. Yeah, that should do it. All right, let's go try that out. Wow. This is going very well. Maybe what shouldn't get highlighted is the altar if there's a chest. Yeah, I just don't know how we would do that. Maybe there's a way we could get that to work. So we put a chest up here. We try putting a key in it. Yeah, I'd love for that to not get highlighted. And it gets highlighted when you bring it close to this. But yeah, it looks like it's functioning at least. Oh, now it's highlighting the chest even though the chest should not be allowed. Oh, there's no winning, is there? Do we look at time remaining anywhere else? No. Will accept item is only if this is a key and this thing is not openable. I know I just changed that condition slightly, but why is this getting highlighted then? It's not now. Ugh. I don't know what's going on. The way it's coded right now is a chest should accept exactly 2 keys. And I think I put 2 in there. So here's 1, it's getting highlighted, that's fine. Here's the second one, it's getting highlighted, that's fine. Here's a third one, it should not get highlighted. It's not. Maybe I just never put that key in. No, now it's getting highlighted again. Yeah, why? I already put 2 keys in there. We can even tell by clicking it, and it says time remaining is 0. I try dragging again, it's still getting highlighted. Why though? Is that what happens when you do something over here? Like if a slot is already filled, does it get highlighted? No. What? Item display will accept item. Current items in flight return false. If it has an item, return. Yeah, this is all fine. So why is this? I'm so confused. All right, let's put a breakpoint there. And let's try dragging a key. So there are two different treasure chests. This one is openable. No, this one is not openable. All right, so then this is false, right? What? Hold on a second. No, this is, yeah, this is true. Yeah. This is what I want. I said the wrong thing. And then the next one is openable, so then this returns false. Yeah. And then where is this all coming from? Here? Valid destinations? So valid destinations, there should only be one. It's got 3. I guess the item display. 2 item displays in a chest. That's probably what's happening here. All possible, oh no, valid destinations. 0.name. .to list. Get name. I don't know where this thing is. I guess the destination is now. We need to cast it to a node 2D. Ah, there we go. And none of these are named well because, well, that one is. All right, so this node is questionable. I don't know what that is. We could probably figure out its hierarchy, though. Get children. It has 5. It is a sprite, a node, a static body, an area 2D, and another node. If it's a sprite, then it's a display. So there are 2 displays in a chest. So why are we seeing 2 chests get highlighted? Oh, because they're using the same. Oh my God. Okay. Another tiny Godot problem here. We need to make this unique. I'm glad I've run into this issue before. Yep, there's the problem. All right, so we take this. Actually, this is probably an issue with both of these then, right? Table sprite, material, resource. No, that one's fine. Just for treasure chest, it's not because I added this manually. Ooh. I had to figure that out. In the room would have to query the chest directly instead of through the stands. All right, so we put a chest here. We put 2 keys in. Oh, I don't care about this anymore. We put 2 keys in. 1, 2. Then we drag the other chest up here, and then we try putting a key in that. And yeah, now this is no longer highlighted. All right, so what we want is to cut out the highlight on the stand when you're dragging a key. And the question is, do I know how to do this? Treasure chest display. I guess this will accept item. If it's a key, we just don't do anything here. And then let the room query the chest, which should be already happening. Nice. So now what happens if I drag to this? Yeah, it's a problem. Wait, what? Oh, I see. It's okay. Yeah, I know what's going on. It's asking if the displays will accept this. It needs to ask if the treasure chest directly will accept this. We need to query the chest directly. Since we don't want the displays to be highlighted when dragging a key. All right, so for each treasure chest, if treasure chest will accept an item, return true, otherwise return false, which means we can just simplify this whole thing to return get treasure chest dot any. Oh, yep, nice. Easy. All right, well, we somehow got, I think, everything working here. I haven't tested it, so I'm prematurely celebrating. But let's try that out. So if I have no idea what just happened there. Did it just delete the key? No, it broke. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Treasure room line 98. closest destination. Get closest item destination to position. This is going to be a display. We can't do this anymore. Okay, so if item.item category is a key, then what we actually need to find the closest thing is of the treasure chest. Let's just delete this. Closest treasure chest is going to be get treasure chest. And then closest treasure chest is where we drop this off. This is dumb. So now let's do it this way. Let's say closest destination. Set this here. Closest destination. Set this here. Delete this line. Put an else here. Get this. That's not what I meant to do. There. Easy. In fact, all we really need to do, I guess, is just change between if we're getting the displays or the chests. So this gets even simpler. So we can just delete this. And say this question mark, get all item displays. Not too shabby. Can you use all of them together? We could. I don't think there's a need to, though. Because the displays only accept chests, and the chests only accept keys. So we probably could concatenate them, but then we'd just be searching more than we have to. And it's not really like it's a performance impact, but still, I just think just for clarity. All right, so if I try dragging here, it works. If I try dragging to the display, it works. If I try dragging to the chest, we need a new chest for that. It works. Nice. That is exactly what we want. Now, if we drag one more key, then it will now become impossible to drag another key. And yeah, there's literally nothing we can do because you can't open chests yet. So, and you can't remove them. So this is as good as we can do for now. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Ooh. All right. So we got to check in what we did. I'm going to take a quick break before I do that. It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes with no break, but this has been like super, super productive. And let me just look really quickly at what's coming after this. We got to make it so you can open it. And then it produces loot. And then it can auto open and then keys actually function. Yeah, this is going great. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. hello. He just asked, how do I play? You just type join in chat, and then you can jump with J and a number. So like J5 will be slightly to the right. You can still join now if you want to. Or you could type something like L5 to jump slightly to the left. Wait, why did that not work? There we go. Wait, does L space 5 not work? No, it does. Okay. Anyway, close the game. I don't know if you already left, but yeah, next time around you can join in if you want to. I sometimes say the instructions. I sometimes just let people figure it out. Not everyone likes to play. And I've noticed actually chat has been like kind of slowly fading away. I'm not totally sure why. I guess most people have been treating this more like a co-working stream. Probably because I'm not really having conversations so much as I am just talking about what I'm coding. But I feel like that didn't really change. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Could just be a summer thing. Oh yeah, we got to check in what we've done. All right, so this isn't needed anymore. We don't use this anywhere. Move unused event. It's not even emitted. It means it's not used from here. Okay. What is debug spawn treasure chest? Oh, I didn't even know I had that. I can apparently right click to spawn a treasure chest? No. Oh, in the treasure room? Also no. Where is this? Oh, on the bulletin board. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. We could do that. How does this work? It would be that we drop off an item and the item is a treasure chest. Yeah, so we say something like this. Item chest equals item.create item id.treasure chest. And then if will accept item chest, then drop off item chest. Else chest.queueFree. Okay, that will hopefully work. Let's try it out. So now instead of needing to make a treasure chest and drag it over there, I should just be able to right click this. Nice. And hopefully that works. Does it say it's got 100 time remaining? Yeah, nice. Okay. Well, I didn't even remember that was a function, but yeah, so now we can drag some keys there. Drag keys to that stuff, yeah. Cool. Not at all what I meant to do. All right. Yeah, rest of this is looking fine. This is not needed, apparently. Clicked treasure chest. The town still listens for it, but doesn't need to. So how do we do this? Drop off item just forwards it to whatever it needs to forward it to. Okay. So we do have a to-do, right? Thing about key, message about key. What I call this? What? I can't find the message I had written about this. It's right here. There must be an openable chest. Why can't I see this on the right side of the screen? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what do we actually say? Well, I guess none of this matters. We say messages.get invalid destination, no openable chest. Private const string invalid destination. There we go. There are no openable chests for this key, for that key. Sure, something like that. Okay, so let's look through the code one more time. This is something we should probably remove at some point. Remove after testing everything. Maybe we should create the weapon grinder too. Yeah. Good. Then what else do we have here? Get all the treasure chests. Get the treasure chests. We do this so that we can highlight them. There's a clicked event here, which we never use. Yeah, a lot of this was kind of a mess. Yeah, we never use this. So this tells you the time remaining. We never need to emit this for right now. The rest of this is looking fine. Cool. Treasure chest display. This isn't needed anymore. Treasure chest display is just this. Yeah. Good. And treasure room. Anything unusual here? No. All right. Not bad. I'll look through all of that. Let's test it one more time. I'm not going to use that debug function. I'm going to just spawn the treasure chest and try to put them where they belong. So if I put this on, put this onto an item display, it's not even getting highlighted anymore. That's not good. That's definitely not good. How'd I just break that? Nothing's getting highlighted. Is it because, oh, that's why. Weapon grinder will accept item. The weapon grinder is failing? That's why this isn't working? Okay, well, that was unexpected. Key storage can hold key. Key storage get occupied or empty. What's failing here? Oh, the weapon grinder was never initialized. Possibly. But that shouldn't have been a problem. Create weapon grinder. Because it should have made... Oh, it doesn't make the key storage. Oh, I called the wrong function. Oh, you can't call create weapon grinder. You have to call create key storage. Okay, yeah, my bad. Otherwise, things don't get initialized correctly. So that was basically expected. All right, so now when we drag, yeah, nice. These are getting highlighted. So we should be able to put this, we can click a display, or we could click the room. Then we can click here. I need more keys. Yep. There are no openable treasure chests for that key. Yeah, so you can put keys over here. Nice. It's all working. Allow keys to be put in chests. The biggest part of this commit is getting the treasure room to accept both chests and keys, but highlight the correct things in each case. Displays for the chests, chests for the keys. Code is pretty straightforward. The treasure room just needs to pick the right objects. Yeah. I'll look through it one more time really quickly. I'm not going to write these other things I did about changing debug functions. I'm not going to fix any incorrect imports. Yeah. Okay. So checking what we did, done. Falls of the room should also accept displays and highlight keys. Yes, it does. And then accept little bits of treasure and highlight the ground. Can be highlighted as a destination for keys. This is only once it's been set into this. If you try dragging a key into the room itself, it should probably say that you need to target a specific chest. Can be highlighted when it's openable. Oh yeah, so we haven't done this part yet. So highlighted when it's openable. What I want to do is I want to make this work like how crop works, but I don't know if we can easily do this. Crop, harvest. We do something with the shader here. Here it is. Set is extra line visible to true. All right, let's just try this out and see what happens. So where's the treasure chest? I don't even see it. There it is. All right, when you use a key, apply key to chest. So as soon as we do this, how about we just set this thing? Outline holder. All right, there. That's all we're going to do. So when you put one key in it, which is technically not correct, it's going to highlight it hopefully blue and yellow and make it really obvious. Nice. Well, kind of nice. It's like a transparent blue. I got to fix that. Why did we do that even on item displays? Because item displays have that same highlighting, right? No, they don't use that color. They go from green to white. Why was that semi-transparent then? And this goes from blue to white. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that's highlighted the way I wanted it to. And now it should not accept another key. Perfect. Perfect. So copy this over to treasure chest. Paste. Change one of the shader colors to be semi-transparent. I did, but I took it from item display. Like there's a semi-transparent color here. I just don't know why. I don't even think this color is used for anything. For item displays, at least. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so this is if it's openable. If is openable, then highlight it. So that's this. This is now done. Let's go try this out. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same code I just had. It's just now it takes 2 keys instead of 1 key. So I drag a key up here, drag a key up here. It gets highlighted. So now it's clear that you can open this. Is the default color in the shader? Oh, maybe it is. I don't know though. I thought there was a little revert icon next to it. But yeah, so now you'd be able to click this. We don't have that working yet. And how do crops look when you can do that? Do they have like another shader on top of it? Yes. When you hover over it, it turns white. You should probably have that happen too. What causes that? Mouse hovered over invoke. Hovered over crop.invoke. What is any of this doing? Show from source. So it just shows a tooltip. Oh, there's an outline on hover. Oh. Whoa. All right, we got to do that too then, I guess. So crop has... No, it doesn't have that. What? Do we add this? Parent. I don't know. All crop data. Scene path, whole harvest, and fruiting crop. Okay, maybe those have it. Whole harvest. Yeah, there's outline parent on hover. What about fruiting crops? Outline parent on hover. They both have it. So yeah, treasure chest should probably have it too. Hey, Appleseed. Finally decided to check out the Skeleseller demo. Been thinking I'd wait for the full release, but I got too curious. Going in with a rather critical attitude. Honestly, quite surprised how much I enjoyed it. I must say, great job so far. I think with more content, which would be my only main critique, I had so much fun. I sped through the thing and content ended. You have something going here. Oh, cool. I'm glad. Oh man. Yeah, this is the biggest thing that people have been talking about is more content and replayability. This is the first thing I finally categorize as a good problem to have. Is people like the game enough to want more of it. So yeah, delivering on that can be somewhat difficult. So you might have already been following this, Appleseed, but the general plans are we add this treasure system to get you through the rest of the like maybe 2 to 3 hours of main content. and then we add challenge modes to allow you to replay the game with variations. So that's it. That's the plan. Hopefully this is a good plan. We have no idea yet. So I want to get this. I want playtesters to have this by the end of Friday, ideally. That may or may not be doable. We'll see. But that way we would have spent roughly a week on getting the treasure stuff, which will leave the rest of July to figure out the variation stuff, which I have a lot to design for that. So how many days does that give us? Pretty much 3 whole weeks. We can count August 1st as July 32nd. So we'll have 3 whole weeks if I can get all that stuff done by Friday. And I think we'll probably spend a solid like 2-3 days on design and then implementation. Implementation might not even be that hard. I think the UI might be hard though. So anyway, that's where we stand. Hopefully that sounds intriguing. All right, so we should have an outline parent on hover here. Where is treasure chest? Instantiate. Outline parent on hover, outline holder, and clickable area. Wow, it all just works. So now when you hover over a chest, it's going to turn white whether or not you can open it. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, why is it happening? It's going green to white because it's an item destination. Tisk, tisk. All right, well, there's a parameter in the shader that lets us control that, but we need to control it based on whether you're hovering over it or whether the code made it do it. So it's this alter line over time. This needs to be set to false when you hover over it. I don't even think we have a hook into that. Outline parent on hover. No, we don't. Drat. Also, there's cursor stuff here. This isn't needed. And then this probably isn't needed either, right? It probably is. Wait, no. This is only needed for opening it. Which means we can go back to using a proper clickable area for this. Well, well, well. All right, I'll write that down. We can probably use clickable areas, clicked event for this again, and not have to use mouse over. If we do this, make sure we don't break the outlining on hover. Playing through the demo couldn't help thinking the battle map could be double its size with more monster variants and it'd be 100% then. Oh, sorry, I did not include the other part of the plan. The other part of the plan is we double the size of the battle map. We actually don't do this. We effectively do this. So you will delve further into each location once. So yeah, we are pretty much doubling it. So there'll be more bosses and harder battles. Although harder is kind of in quotes, right? It's a pretty casual game. So the bosses might be harder battles. But excuse me. I think the boss battles are going to be a little bit tough to set expectations for. Even the dragon, I watched someone play on YouTube pretty recently, and the whole point of the dragon, they shoot a fireball at everyone. And what I was trying to steer people toward is like the witch doctor is bad because all of their zombies will just die in one hit. But many people approach this fight and they're like, oh, my witch doctor is my best character. So that they want to use them. So there isn't that strategizing, at least in how I was trying to nudge players. Now, I could outright say, like, hey, they're going to shoot a fireball at everyone, so the witch doctor is bad. And then people would be like, oh, I get it. And that might start them thinking about for future boss battles, like, who do I need in the party? They definitely felt the most powerful. Yeah, there are balance issues, but we got to work on those. All right, so how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? We can have two outlines. I guess what I want to have happen should be highlighted white when you hover over it. This means outline parent on hover needs to set, was it alter line over time? And we just never do this right now. Nope, we never do this. Man. Needs to set this to false when you hover over it, and then set it back to true when you're done. We could make a parameter for that. It's not that hard to do. We need to remember what it was originally set to. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to do. I could even export a Boolean that lets us do that. It's only needed for this one spot, though. So let's try it. I guess we're exporting a private Boolean. No, okay, it can be public. So like it's disable alter line on hover. Right, so on mouse entered. If disable on hover, then we need to remember what the parameter was. So private bool was alter line enabled. Yeah. All right, so was alter line enabled. Alter line on hover. Alter line over time. How are we supposed to get this? Node with shader? We have the shader material right there. What's the problem with this? Returns a variant. Get shader parameter. Hey again, Panda. What am I typing? I'm not even paying attention. We never do this for some reason. Huh. We use set shader parameter everywhere. I'm kind of surprised that we never get it. Yeah, get shader. Yeah, we just never do that. Okay, well, it shouldn't really matter. How do you cast a variant, though? What's the right way? Is it just the regular C# casting? Variant. Oh, no. There are functions for it. Yeah, so we just do as bool. Wow. Cool. I should probably write that in my C# notes. To cast a variant. Use the .to star functions. E.g. this. This be like, you know, show thing. Cool. Hovering a customer should say customer. Didn't understand what they were at first. Current enchanter mana should be shown top left of other resources. Yeah, both of those things are being tracked right now. The first one's being tracked as like add more flavor to customers. Maybe they have a name. Maybe they have like a quest that they're on or something. Oh, as, yeah. Wait. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that's if we disable it on hover, we need to do this, and then we need to set this to false. Then we do the opposite down here. In fact, actually, this should know how to just undo it itself, right? Yeah, nice. That's pretty good. All right, so now something's wrong in this file. There it is. And that should have fixed that. Perfect. And then this needs to be moved, should not follow a property. Sounds good. And then all we need to do is set this in the editor now. And everything should just work. Good. Now what happens when we are dragging a key? No, it breaks when you do that. But I think items also break when you do that. I don't actually know. Let's try that out. No, they don't mess up because we never need to alter it afterward. All right, so how do we fix this? When you stop hovering over it, we want to revert it back to what it was, which would have been true. Why isn't that working? Strange. I think the slime is the one that breaks that. Yeah, that's true. I knew something was breaking it. But still, we're using slightly different code now. I wonder if this is... if something's wrong here. So let's see. We click this. We hover over here. This should be true. It is true. So then when we get to this, it should set this back to true. Huh. Oh, I see. Its outline is set to not be visible anymore. Oh, drat. Yeah, drat. Something highlights this again, or something should highlight it again. It should be player held item. Set outline visible. We don't set its visibility? Where does that happen? It's got to be when you pick up an item, right? Is there a highlight function? Set is highlighted. Here it is. Oh, we just add it once at the beginning. No, that's not even true. What does this do? Add to node? What even is this? It just sets the line color. Oh, it sets it to transparent. Interesting. But this thing is not even visible at this point. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Where else do we even use this? It's in player held item in a couple places. What about this? That's it? That's the only place it's used? Seriously? So then we could probably just fix this code. So what's happening is you hover over the chest. It gets highlighted white. You stop hovering and set outline visible is set to false. And what does that do? That sets the color to transparent. Sets the outline color to transparent. So we need that to not happen anymore. I might just save this as a bug for later. Oh, wait, it's just like permanently broken now. It's not that it's permanently broken. How does that work? I drag over here, it turns white. I start dragging again. Oh no, it's working correctly. Yeah, so it's only if you drag over here and then stop, which definitely looks weird. So we will need to fix that. I just don't know if it's worth fixing now. I guess we haven't done anything else really, right? Maybe it is worth fixing now. And the cursor changes already, right? When you hover over this? Yeah, nice. And clicking it just prints to the console? Yeah. Well, everything else is looking good except for this one thing. So yeah, I guess we should try to figure this out. So what should happen? It should be when you stop hovering over the chest, it goes back to whatever it was doing. So we don't just assume it's going to be off. We could have just tracked what it was doing at the time. I mean, pretty much in the same way that we do this thing. Instead of set outline visible, we could just keep track of what was it. Yeah, so private bool was outline visible. I think that's all we need. Was outline visible equals outline holder dot is there even an is visible thing? Gonna find this. It's not there. We need to get the current outline color, which we never called get shader parameter. So I guess public bool is outline visible. Is color. Can we cast this to a color? As color, yeah, nice. All right, we're getting there. Now we check this. So that's whether or not the outline was visible. And then over here, we set it back to whether it was visible. Now we're missing a curly brace somewhere. Although I don't know where. Why is this complaining? Oh, strange. I don't know why that's complaining. Is that spurious? No? What? Oh, there's a dot on the next line. Oh. All right, how are we looking now? So I can hover over this just like I could before. And now when we drag this, nice. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, there's an event ordering problem that's going to stop this from working. Yeah. Because on mouse exited doesn't happen until doesn't happen until we drop the item and then move out of there. So now the object highlighter is going to try to turn this off, and then this thing's going to try to set it right back to true. So I guess we need to be able to modify was outline visible. This is more like should outline be visible when you hover off of it. But object highlighter wouldn't know how to do this because it only gets outline holders. It doesn't do the whole hover parent thing. All right, I need to come up with a better way to do this then. So yeah, our problem with how this is coded, new problem is that we remember whether or not the object was being highlighted so that we can restore that. However, when you drop the item off, it shouldn't get restored to true afterward. So something needs to clear that true value. Is there another way to do this? I mean, ideally, we just have two outlines. And we would just say, while hovering, show the white one on top of everything else to just mask it. But we can't do that. You can only have one shader per thing. Maybe when you stop hovering over it, there should be some way to compute the current state. Maybe try to compute the current visibility when you stop hovering. Would probably be tough since it could involve any arbitrary system. What is going on with the ads right now? It just started like a 30-second ad. It should run them all contiguously. Hang on a second. Let me look into this. Not that anyone can probably hear me right now. What is going on with this? How often? Shorter ads more often? Oh my god. Was this busted? Oh, darn it. Yeah, I want it to just be a 3-minute ad break every hour. I don't know how that got changed or if I changed that or what. What does automatic do? Run a 1.5? No, I just want to be set to max. So stupid. What is this stuff? Ad delay, snoozing. I don't care about this. All right, so there. That setting should make it so that you don't get a 30-second ad every, what was it, 10 minutes? Oh man. I wonder how that happened. I'd rather just get them all over with. If someone's going to leave the stream due to ads, I'd rather the people only leave the stream once per hour rather than once every 10 minutes. All right, well, this problem is slightly involved, and I don't really want to try to solve it right now. But I kind of want to think about it a little bit more. Also, what time is it? 11:17. So when dragging an item, show the colorful outline. When hovering over the item, show a white outline. When you stop hovering over an item and you're still dragging, show the colorful one. When you stop hovering over an item and you're not dragging, show nothing. When not dragging an item, show nothing. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you're dragging or not. So how do we get this to work? We can't know that this is for an item and query its state. We could have item destinations do this sort of thing specifically. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we tried to do with the object highlighter. We have add to node and remove from node. And when we remove this, we free the highlighter. And the highlighter itself just sets the color to white. And when you remove this thing, it sets it back to transparent. Yeah, it seems stupid. Seems stupid. Yeah, I don't think I want to solve this right now. So what do we do then? Yeah, I don't know what we do with this. Maybe we do fake it and have another treasure chest on top of this with the exact same outline. Some kind of state machine for highlighting that. Yeah, I think that's what we'd probably end up with for the final solution, but I don't want to code that right now. And we need to apply this to the slime as well. I'll write it and clean up somewhere. Need to figure out how to fix highlighting. This slime has a problem too, where it should be highlighted colorfully while dragging an item. White when pointing at them, but then when you stop pointing at them, it goes back to either colorful or off based on whether you're dragging an item. This probably means we need object highlighter to be aware of the dragging state and whether the target is valid. It also means I probably got to change some of this stuff. So is the current behavior bad? Yes, it is. Because it's going to be highlighted forever. That's pretty bad. So we can't have that. So let's get rid of was outline visible maybe. There. And then outline holder doesn't need the was outline visible part. This could keep it. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's never going to be called. So I just want to see, is this terrible, whatever we've done? Or is it passable? It's not going to be perfect. So we hover over this and then it just turns off. I think that's okay. That's how the slime works too, I think. And then if we hover over it again, it's fine. If we start dragging another key, it should be fine. Yeah. And if we try that with the slime, it's the exact same way, right? No, actually. They're just highlighted white. And then you hover over them. They're still white. You hover away from them, they turn off. But they will show white again when you hover over them still. And yeah, that's what's happening here. So this works exactly like how the slime does. So it's passable. I think that's what we leave it as then. So we can delete this function. And just check this in. Yeah, was outline visible is deleted. Okay, so show outline on treasure chest. When openable, it'll be the crop outline that cycles between blue and yellow. When hovered over, it'll be white. I didn't actually test that. Yeah, so nice. That's exactly what we want. When I hover over this, yeah, cool. This has the same bug as the garbage slime, which is that dragging an item over it and then moving the mouse away will remove all outlines. That's not super easy to fix right now. Cool. So all this code should be fine. Yeah. And the cursor thing was already part of the outline. Yeah. Did I explicitly write that? I didn't. Also, I got rid of the mouse cursors stuff since outline parent on hover handles that for us. Cool. All right, so where are we at? Highlighted when it's openable. Should be highlighted when you hover over it. So delete that stuff for now. Opening it animates it. Maybe it can change to a totally different entity. It can elevate off the stand, open, shower loot everywhere, then queue free itself. So the different entity part, we already did. Probably use this event. Not use mouse over. If we do this, make sure we don't break the outline on hover. Probably need an item factory for producing the right type of item. We don't need that anymore. We don't need this. All right, so opening it. Let's go get that to function. We have a click handler here. So we could say if is openable, then we can open it. So how about we just free it? Do we need to do anything other than that? Let's just try that. So this is not animating or anything. This is just me seeing, can we open it? Opening being just deleting it. So we go make a couple of chests. If we try dragging another one, it's not going to let us. Yep, treasure room is already full. But if we drag 2 keys to here, actually, if we click it now, it shouldn't do anything. Yeah. Drag another key over to there. And now I click this, and it goes away, and we should be able to put another chest over there. No, that broke. That like super broke. Why did it super break? Cannot access a disposed object. Oh, because we have a reference to the treasure chest inside the treasure chest display. Yeah, so something needs to know that we've opened this so that the treasure chest display can clear its own memory of this. It has it right there. We need to null this out. We don't ever null this out now, do we? No, we don't, because we never had a reason to. All right, so maybe we just make an event. Public event action question mark opened. And just emit that from here. And then from here, listen to that. Didn't we already have something we were listening to? I think we did, and I think I got rid of it. Yeah, it was one of the like clicked things. All right, that's fine. Treasure chest dot open plus equal treasure chest dot queue free treasure chest equals null. Cool. Let's try it. So now it should be the exact same thing we just did, but without the error. All right, we get some treasure chests in there. We drag some keys up there. We click this. We drag another treasure chest up there. Ah, it still thinks it's full, but why? That is an interesting bug. Treasure room is already full. Get item displays. Get treasure chest display. Will accept item. Oh, we got to reset is occupied? Okay, that should have never existed. Yeah, that should have never existed. Delete this in favor of whatever points in the treasure chest. Yeah. All right, so delete that. And we can make our own is occupied. Do I have any of these? No, I don't. Public bool is occupied is going to be treasure chest is not null and there is no current item in flight. This is probably a stupid way of doing it. Let's just go with the treasure chest not being null. All right. So now wherever we use that, not is occupied. So setting this to true isn't needed. Setting this to true isn't needed. All right, so let's make sure all these states make sense. As soon as an item is flying into the display, we set this thing to true, which we then check up here. Good. And now that it's computed, everything should be fine. Yeah. We need to add a way for feeding this thing to the garbage slime, which I don't exactly know how we're going to do. I think I mentioned that right-clicking could do it. Yeah. Allow feeding the chest to the garbage slime. Maybe clicking could open a dialogue. Lets you do this, or maybe right-clicking will feed it to the slime. Could be that dragging the chest spawns an item that refers to the original chest somehow. I don't know, we'll figure that out. All right, so did I fix it? We put a couple keys in. We open this up. We put a new chest there. We open up the left one. We put a new chest there. Yeah, looks like it's working. Cool. Before I forget, let's go add in another yellow key every single time we do this. Or a few of them. All right, so that concept of opening exists. We now need the animation to happen. And I mentioned that it could elevate off the stand. It could like shake a bit and then open. I think some amount of fanfare for this would be pretty good. In cleanup, by the way, we need to probably add in some item sounds. Add sounds to opening a chest. Yeah, so what we can do is just add an animation player that knows how to play this animation. And the animation could be made Does this look good? It kind of looks good. Do we want to slow that down or something? I don't know. Let's add an animation player. Okay, new animation. We call this open. And we add a property. We're going to move the sprite off of the podium. So let's insert a key here and here and probably extend this thing out to like 10 seconds. I don't want to take 10 seconds, but we got to figure out what this is going to be. So it's going to elevate off of this thing. So let's have it go up by 20 pixels. It's probably pretty good. So shoop goes up. We can set the easing to be ease in out. That does not look like ease in out. What's going on? What? What's going on here? There we go. That's better. But now I don't think the easing probably matters, does it? Or do I need to put the easing on both of these? Ease in, out. Ease in, out. And now what if I set this back to linear? What would happen? Yeah, that looks good. All right, so it rises off the podium a little bit. And then I want it to shake. So now we add another property on the sprite, which is the rotation. So insert a key there, insert a key there. So now it's going to rotate slightly. Whoop, that's going to look terrible. We need this to have the right offset. Oh, that doesn't work. Well, I guess it has to work. I guess we have to set the offset to here so that when we rotate it, it's going to rotate correctly. Yeah. Which now means we need to lower this thing again. So the offset is -8. And then the position needs to be +8. And that means that this clickable area needs to be moved by -8. And then the whole thing needs to go farther down so it's centered. Why? What? Oh, no, now 0, 0 would be the position. Yeah, of course. All right, whatever. Yeah, so now we can rotate this. So how do we clamp to like where this thing is? I don't know. We're probably already there. Okay, so now we change it. Gonna make it rotate a little bit to the right. And then that was 9.2. So now insert a key that is -9.2. Rotate a little bit to the left. Yeah. All right, so this is probably gonna look stupid right now. Yes, it does. That is fine. We will make it look a little bit better. Can we paste this over here? All right, let's set the easing on all of these things to be in, out. Yeah, and then I think you can just open. So now we do add property, not property. Animation playback. I guess it is property then. So sprite, animation. I don't know if you can do this. I wanted to start the animation. I guess it'd be a function call, but I don't know exactly. Oh, there is play. Yeah, so we would do this and just change it to be string name default. It's kind of weird. Does it even work? Doesn't work in the editor. So we'd have to try. Okay, fine. So let's set this to autoplay and let's just run this scene. And it's going to be really tiny and at the upper left. It's not even visible. Hey, Francois. Long time lurker here. Yeah, I think I recognize your name from a while ago. Hope your day's going well. My day is going well. I hope your day's going well. Out of curiosity, what brought you out of lurking today? I'm always wondering about this sort of thing. All right, so we can't see this, I think, because it's above the origin. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, this isn't positioned correctly. Oh, because the animation player isn't positioned correctly. Oh, I have this going from 0 to -8 to -20. So we need to add 8 to this too. So it goes 12 pixels off of this thing and then rotates? Yeah. But this would only, how do we do this then? I guess we need to make a new scene just for the sake of testing. So close all other tabs, then make a new scene that will instantiate in a treasure chest and probably have this thing be a lot larger than normal so we can see it on the screen, and just move this over here. And then, yeah, set transform scale to like 4. I just want it to be visible. And then call this delete me. Nothing really, just want to say hi. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, hope your day's going well. This is visible. I don't know if it did what I wanted it to do because I wasn't paying attention. Let me make this 8 times now. All right, pretty interesting. Let's also put the item display in. Instantiate treasure chest display. Put this here, maybe? I hope this doesn't cause any weird problems. All right, so I just wanted to look, kind of good enough. There. That's pretty good, actually. I kind of like that. I don't know which one of these did that, though. Is it this one or is it the other one? Can I turn this off? No, it was the bottom one. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we turn this off and delete this one and turn the other one back on. So now it should still look how it just looked. Yeah, I think the animation should be a touch sooner. So play this maybe here. Hey, Smack, what are we working on today? Today is still treasure chest stuff, but we should have everything kind of working end to end by the end of today, I think. Just not fully polished or anything. So right now we're doing it. Whoops, I loaded the wrong thing. We're making the treasure chest opening animation. It's still kind of slow. Why is it kind of slow? I guess because the first frame is there for 5, not 5, what am I talking about? It's 5 frames per second. So it's 1/12 of a second. So we want this to be a little bit sooner even. We'll just drag it until it's fine. It's not like this needs to be scientific. It just needs to feel right. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Then all the loot spews out, and then the treasure chest maybe fades out to nothing. Yeah, that could work. All right, so loot's going to pop out of this thing, and then we need a new animation for new... Oh, no, the fade out could just be done with the fade out that we have. Okay, so we don't even need to do anything there. All right, so we don't autoplay this. We go back to reset. Now we can probably delete the delete me scene, although I can always do that at the end. And now opened, the way this is going to work is we're going to get our animation player. So let's go get that. Let's say open chest. And then just put this stuff down here. Private void open. All right, so get node animation player dot play open. Open technically shouldn't be invoked yet. I guess there should be a function opened chest, which is when the animation is done. That's going to make the loot spew out of it. So now we need to build and then go to our animation and call a function on treasure chest, which is opened chest. And that's got to happen once this thing actually kind of is at the right spot, which is going to be hard to gauge. Thanks, Epta. All right, so there's open. So now we need loot to spew out of it, and then for this thing to fade out. But the way I'm picturing this, at least, there are a couple different ways you could do this. Imagine a chest opening and the loot just like dumping out of it immediately. Or the chest opens and like items fly out one by one until it's done. I don't know which would look better. But I don't think this should take forever, so let's just go with a loot dumping way. And then maybe just make this fade out here. Fade functions dot fade out. Does this free at the end? It does not. Fade out takes what? An item, a duration, and an existing tween. So tween fade tween equals this. So the item is this. The duration is, I don't know, 5 seconds. And then when it's finished, we free this thing. No, we can't do that. We need to, oh, darn it. How do we do this? Maybe there should be a deleted thing here. The parent could just delete this though. So I guess we don't need to do anything for this. So the treasure room gets opened. No, the display gets open. And this fades out the treasure chest. Also, you should not be able to open something that has already been opened. So I guess we should have like pool was opened. And open chest is if was open, then return. Set it to true. Are they going to fly to the warehouse or just stay there? They're going to fly to the warehouse. Okay, so we got all of this stuff set up. So if I were to run this right now, I should have done something else before I did this. I should have made it so that all chests are ready to be opened as soon as they spawn. All right, well, let's not make that mistake again. But we put a chest up here. We open it with 2 keys. Oh, it's in the wrong spot now because of the Y sorting. But now when we click it, it should float off of this thing. Oh, that's broken too. So just everything's broken. How nice. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's fun. How fun. It's a really fun time. Oh, whoops. I want this to be at 0. I don't know why it's not at 0. I think the reset thing didn't work. Yeah, the reset thing has it set to 0, -8. That's why. Yeah. All right, so as mentioned, let's fix the problem with needing to open these. So we'll just set time remaining to 0. So now they're ready to be opened by default. We have a debug thing that makes them. So we just do this and then we can click. What's even clipping that? I don't understand. I think maybe the texture crop thing needs to be initialized somehow. No, it's just in ready that it does it. And an event should not follow a property, sure. Huh, strange. Is it inside the table now? Yeah, it's below where it should be, that's for sure. But how? It looks like it should be at 0, 0. Because the sprite is no longer centered. Wait, something really weird is happening. This is, we don't play an animation from the get-go, and this thing's set to 0, 0. So then in the treasure room, what's going to happen is we will go into this, and in the item slot, we're going to add in the treasure chest. And it looks like it's correct here. So what's going on? Add child. Right there, we just add the treasure chest. We don't change its position or anything. I'm confused at how this could not work. Yeah, I don't understand that. It's like the offset is wrong. What if I launch from the editor? What is going on? The offset's definitely wrong because it's rotating from the top. But I don't see anything wrong when I actually look in the editor. This is correct. We try adding it directly to here and it looks fine. I'm not doing any positioning. I didn't change any code, did I? Is this just saying this can be combined? Yeah. Has -8 in the scene. Shader has problems with that, doesn't it? Shouldn't the whole chest node be the one you animate? Oh, the shader has problems with offsets. Oh man. Yeah, you're probably right. You can test by disabling the shader. Yeah. Ugh. Yuck. I probably can't just turn this off though. I probably need to change the shader itself. Just return the color. Can I just not do anything here? I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, it's the shader. It's also not fading out. I don't know what's going on with that. Where did I launch this from? Here? Yeah, no issues with that. Okay, so yeah. We'll have to figure that out. What we could do if we needed to, we could spawn another scene that does not have the outline. Or we could try to change the outline shader to work with an offset, which sounds like it'd be a monumental undertaking. But before we get to any of that, let's try to figure out why this is fading out so fast. This should be 0.75 seconds, right? Oh, because of that. But isn't animating the root node enough instead of the sprite node? Probably not, because we would need an offset still. Otherwise, it's going to look like it's rotating from the wrong position. But we could try it. If we rotate this node, I think it's going to... Well, I guess we need to get rid of the offset here. Which now means we need to move everything by -8, huh? And then this goes by 8. And then this goes to -8. And then this thing goes from -8 to -20. And now the thing we want to try is rotating this. Oh, it does look fine. How is that possible? All right, well, we're going to give Kevin a point for all this stuff. All right, so all we need to do is change the rotation thing here. Property, this, rotation. And I want to copy all of these things exactly where they are, but like down below. Is that easy to do? Messaging Page. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. It'll crush his poor little heart. He doesn't have the fortitude to handle it. All right, let's go try this out. Oh, I got rid of the shader though. Whoops. Oh, also now it's rotating weirdly. Why did it look good the first time? No. Yeah, why is it rotating weirdly? Because oh drat. It's because I moved where the sprite is. So if I were to rotate this now, it'll look fine. But then as soon as this thing is 8 pixels in the air, so if I do -12 or whatever, or -20, now rotating it is going to look weird, right? Yeah, so I need another node in the middle. A Malcolm node. I guess let's do that then. Yeah, I'm moving the sprite up. Yeah, so I got to change that. Node 2D. rotation node for animation and put this in here and then move that entire thing. So stupid. All right, let's validate that this works first. So this is what's going to move. So we move this up a bit and then we rotate it. Yes, that should work. All right, so our animation player, we're going to animate this thing's position and this thing's rotation. The position stuff is going to just move. Whoop, you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. Cut and paste. And then the rotation, cut and paste. Oops, nope. What are we doing? Oh, God. Is this at 0.7? Yeah. We did it. Now we just delete that track and that track. Yeah, all right. Let's try that out. Can't you move the treasure chest node up? Yes. Yes, we can. Yeah, all right. Well, at least this is looking pretty good. Although I can't help but notice that the treasure chest looks squat for some reason. Is it using the wrong animation frame? It might be. It might be using the squat one that we have. Although that's pretty hard to tell. Yeah, so we don't need this here. We can put this back to being here. Delete this. Put these up above. In the animation player, I'm guessing it just deleted everything I had. Yep. All right, so undo everything. And then we can just change the rotation node directly in the scene. So treasure, chest, TSCN, rotation. All right, so I think all we need to do is just change this stuff to be the root node. I don't even know how you control the root node. All right, let's just not do this through here. That's stupid. Let's do it through here. Position, rotation. All right. This should be at 0.7. And this should be at 0. And then we just delete both of these. And that node and this. All right, 5th time's a charm. None of this worked correctly. None of it. And I think we can fix it all, but man. Outline, shader. All right, so just get rid of all this stuff that we had. This should be completely unchanged now. Do you have to select reset? Possibly. I don't like these reset nodes. And even this doesn't look like it has the sprite reset track here. The position is way off. This needs to be what, -8? No, it needs to be at 0. Weird. Yeah, weird. And then we move this thing. Position of this is -8. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, God. None of this is going to work. This is very fun. And this goes to -12. All right, then we do need to offset the sprite. I don't know what happened to the reset node. But yeah, the sprite needs to be at -8. And now I think we're finally fine, maybe. They look correct. That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. It doesn't. So now I'm judging the animation itself. It's not bad, but it feels like it could have something more. Or maybe some timing can be changed. Or maybe all it needs is for the right twist to go farther than the left twist did. So this, instead of being 9.2, can be like 11. So it goes left and then even farther and then snaps back. Yeah. Yeah, some particles maybe. I'll put that in the cleanup thing. Add particles to the chest opening animation. All right, let's get some actual items flying out of this thing. So this stuff's done. This we can probably do afterward. So the items spew. Treasure chest display. So how's this going to work? Town has a way of granting items. Grant items, add items, add items. Ground items out spawn. It's not going to be ground items out spawn. Actually, wait a second. How is this going to work? It's just like when the portal spits out items, I guess. No, it's not just like that. It's nothing like that. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult. We pass in some items, item IDs. This marks that we've seen those items. We need that to happen. And the warehouse calls grant items, but even this needs a position so it can fly in the items, which we never needed to do before. Oh, there's going to be another problem too, which is if we just spew all the items out at once, they're all going to go in a straight... No, they're not going to go in a straight line. Never mind. That might not be a problem. Trying to think, do I want to do this the like fully proper way at first? Or do we just want to grant items and then we'll worry about the animations afterward? Yeah, maybe let's just have it give you items for now. So at some point we need to tell it what kind of loot to generate. And that's what treasure chest display is going to pass up to the town. So this is opened. We'll have an action here, opened chest, and that takes in a treasure chest. And we call this down here. And then the treasure room listens for that. And I guess just invokes its own thing. Open chest dot invoke chest. Do I need to? Yeah, whatever. Treasure chest, opened chest. Okay, then the town listens for that. And here's where we're just going to write a function in. So we do have a treasure chest, which we're going to just ignore. And we're going to just call add items, and we're going to add in item ID dot. Let's just do a couple of fiery swords or something, which are apparently not called fiery swords. Rage blade. Is that the name of the... Maybe it's called fire sword? Fiery... Oh, it's called fire sword, not fiery sword. Oh. All right, so a couple of fire swords. And... Oh, frostblade. There. So that obviously needs to get replaced with real loot. And it's just going to teleport to your warehouse. And if it doesn't have space, or if you don't have a warehouse, it's going to put it on the portal or through the portal. So yeah, items spewed out of the portal. If you have the warehouse, though, they'll go right into the warehouse. Yeah. This is a really cool Frostblade. That's our placeholder text, but it actually works for the Frostblade. Yeah, so no animations. They'll just spew out of the portal instead. But yeah, it's working. Yeah, we have a lot of cleanup stuff. Get items to animate from the chest to animate the items flying out of it, not the portal. If there's space in the warehouse, it should fly to the warehouse. If there isn't space in the warehouse, I guess they just spew onto the floor of the treasure room. It's accessible. Your workers can get there. This would probably mean we need some physics on the room itself, like how we have around the portal. Although maybe we don't need to do anything special for that. Don't know. Do not know. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. So what do we not have yet? We don't have timers on the chest. That should be pretty simple. Timer hits 0. We spawn some stuff. We don't have proper loot tables. That's going to take some time. Change how we show the sign when a battle ends. Figure out if we drop treasure chests. Make keys work. Your workers bring it. Okay, that might be a little bit tough. And making them move the chest as well. Perks, different keys, different chests. Save the room. No item stacking. Yeah. All right. Well. We've already made really good Wow, neat. Never seen that before. I guess we could even give them the weapon that they want, right? Go fetch your frost sword, which is going to make you tip barely any money, probably. Wait, no, you might tip a lot. 36 gold, nice. He bought the other one for free. Yeah, so the main goal for today is almost done. We now have, I guess I could just show everything. And I gotta, before I take my lunch break, I've got to check this in. Check in what I've done. All right, yeah, let's quit out of these. Okay, so I guess the true end-to-end is to get this stuff to be automated, but you can now put chests into the treasure room. If you use 2 keys, you'll open it. Or well, you will make it openable, which then you need to click. It'll then shake. It'll spew the items out of the portal. And we also have the weapon grinder working. So if you have weapons, these will turn into keys because they'll put them in the weapon grinder. Why did that fire sword make 3 at a time? That's got to be a bug, right? Yeah, that has to be a bug. I think the weapon grinder's broken. All right, let's just save that for later. I'm nearly positive it's busted, though. Broken in how many keys it makes? When there's accumulated value and a single fire sword, 24 gold is put in, it can make 3 keys instead of just 1. It should never be able to make 2 from a fire sword. The only way to be able to make 2 is if it was worth at least 51 gold. It's not. All right, well, let's get to the check-in what I've done part. Yeah, as mentioned, I'm pretty happy so far with the progress. And I think whatever we do in the afternoon is going to be a little bonus for us today. The question is, can we get done with all the other stuff by the end of Friday? Maybe. I don't know. There's always tomorrow, too. So, yeah, maybe's a good answer. All right, we have all the animation player stuff. This looks good. Town now has multiple keys being granted, and when you do this, you get multiple swords. There's was opened and opened. If it's openable, open the chest. Yeah, we'll just put this here like it wants us to. Is openable. Good. Should probably write this here somewhere. We have removed debug code already, but we need this to be to do generate items according to a loot table. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Cool. Cool. Is the fade out okay? Is that happening too fast or too slow? Oh, I need keys. Key. Okay, just look at the fade out part. I'll just write we should tweak the animation times. I think it is fading out pretty fast. Probably shouldn't fade out until the items have finished spewing from it. All right, and then what's this stuff? Yeah, pretty good. All right. So allow opening chests. After using 2 keys, what I just do? Chests will become openable. Clicking them will spawn 3 swords out of the portal. There's a lot here that needs to be polished, but the basic flow is working. Yeah, fun. Fun. I think the feature is pretty good, because this is one of the things I was a little bit worried about, is like, how will opening chests work? How clear will it be? How will it feel? And the idea of storing some treasure chests here and like checking back on them every once in a while, or building up keys and watching your workers go, and then finally being able to open this yourself and seeing loot pop out of it, I think it's going to feel really good. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so checking what I've done. We're finished with that. Yeah, I think I'll just write afternoon. It's just this. Just a body bricklaying. Get as many things done with this as we can. I don't think we'll get it all done. And I think tomorrow needs to be like a full coding day, which means I don't know when marketing is going to happen. Continued working on treasure chests. Got them to open and emit loot poorly. All right. Well, it is 12:08. I've been streaming now for almost 4 hours. I think it's lunchtime. And then when I get back post lunch, I'm hoping to stream for at least a couple hours. Yeah, maybe we aim for like 1 to 4, something like that. So thank you all for watching. I don't raid out at lunchtime. I'll save that for later. But if you want to join Discord, there's the link. And I will be back in about an hour. I hope to see you all then. If not, have a good rest of your day. Take care.